seat.
Back in the saddle again.
Alright, so, since apparently no one remembers what happened last session.
It's only been a month.
I haven't been here in 3.
It's been a second.
Maddie remembers.
Maddie remembers.
The invisible woman remembers, but...
I remember.
So the main day festivities of the Kybella Ball went on at first without a hitch. You guys, all dressed to the nines, were introduced. Lyra causing some panic with her family, and Kirk, after some investigating, realized that it was because her mom told her dad that she was dead. So that was cool.
Don't usually attend balls.
Not normally.
Depends on mom.
Aska had an enlightening
D&D
conversation
soap
with her brother, her half-brother, as it was revealed. Let's see, what else? Well, the big one.
Before that, while we were standing in line, we met the Count, but not
That is true.
as the Count.
That is true. Preston Holland was out getting some breakfast and running from cops.
Funsies.
I mean, wouldn't you?
It's a pretty eventful morning. Sounds fun to me.
And then I'm sure I'm missing more, but that's why we have a recording. The big event, though, was a member of the Cloverlit, the same people that had kidnapped Azura a few days previous, tried to do the same thing to dear old King Torm. And get fucked indeed, as Azura was able to get back to her friends, and together you guys beat the living piss out of this lady, killed her, and then brought her back to answer some questions. She wasn't too helpful with the questions, obviously, because they don't have to be, but you did find on her person a little note. And the note was mostly burned because, again, you beat the piss out of her. But you were able to make out the phrases, use the catacombs, and that the paper was signed by Garnet Faltho with the Galendel signet sign at the bottom. So, that is where we will begin, because you guys cleaned up after that event, went back, and went to sleep. So you guys did level up, yay, and you also long rest, so you can get those hit points back. Let me, seeing as that's the wrong
Level
kind.
13 now, right?
Indeed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which level 13 is where some craziness starts, so yay me.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, as we begin, I think, yeah, we'll start with Talat. As you go to sleep, again, nothing necessarily calls out to you this night, as your bond with Celestion and Astaroth masquerading as Celestion has been broken. And as you sit there in dreamless, just kind of emptiness, in that void, you begin to see kind of starlight take shape. And you hear like an echoing voice, like from far away but somehow still close. You hear a voice just go, "What the hell is that noise? What is that noise?"
It's math rock.
Oh no,
Math rocks.
not the math rock.
Math rocks!
What is that incessant babble? And your consciousness focuses, and you find yourself in that sprawling
Sorry, I have short arms.
cosmos of color and starlight
It's
that
gone
you
forever.
had found yourself in
Lost
previously, when you and Aska had talked to some gods a few days ago. You find yourself in this similar space. Very slowly, a being starts to apparate, and you see a red glowing being surrounded by just an orbit of tomes and books, and with an outline of an eye where its face should be. And as he appears again, all the books snap shut angrily. And he's like, do you have to yell like that? You know you're not a quiet sleeper. I could hear you on the other side of the fucking cosmos.
I'm sure it's very irritating, Rufus. My apologies, my lord. I didn't mean to sleep loudly.
Well, understandable, but you shouldn't be calling out at all. Why? I shouldn't have been able to hear you, first of all. So we're gonna have to work on that.
I didn't know I was calling.
Now that the council has given you powers, our blessing, as it were, you have a bit more of a connection. More of a connection than I would like. But that's Terra's problem, that's not mine. But while you're here,
Strike a pose in the ether.
and as you strike your pose, you notice that your form is purple and glowing. And while your consciousness feels like Talad, you know this body to be of Gorah, your astral self, your Quori self. Rufus looks at you and goes, you are a peculiar fucking being. Well, since you're here, and I don't want you calling out to me anymore, I am going to allow you to, at any time that you want, when you're dreaming, if you feel the need to call out, don't. But you can access any part of your timeline. Since we have cleared that up for you, I'm sure you have questions. But I don't want you here. So, does that make sense? I don't want you here. So you can go anywhere that is you. Now is such an interesting concept in this space. So,
Meaning where you can hear me, meaning now.
indeed. So, I'll leave you with your thoughts and leave me to mine. And the books open again, and he just evaporates into the cosmos. So as you are in this space, is there any part of Gorah or past lives that you would like more information about? And as you were doing that, I forgot to plug in the other laptop.
Oh no, is it dying already?
No, I just...
Oh.
It's just a good thing to keep in mind.
It's a new record.
Don't know where it is.
Brief
I found it.
intermission.
He wants to reach back into the first, Gorah, and try to get any more information
I
on
like the green ones.
Astaroth and his weaknesses. Or maybe any information that was shared with him about him.
Okay.
Because he did get glimpses of it, so it seems, but nothing that's concrete or any possible plans they had to defeat him. Were there any things that needed to be collected other than, say, the keys to life or so on and so forth? Any other plans that Celestia had?
As you reach back to that first form, those primary memories, you find yourself back in the heart of the God War, as it was called. You find yourself in an immense battlefield with numerous beings of all different planes, dimensions, divine power levels, and some of their warriors, mortal warriors that have been gifted powers by these deities. From like a bird's eye view, you do see a conversation between Gorah and Celestion, and immediately you pick up on the closeness of the two individuals. The banter at first isn't strategic. It's just friendly, heartfelt, emotional. But eventually the topic does come up of that shadow being that the other side has. Demons, devils. You can deal with those. Groomsh and his armies of orcs, they know what to do with that. But that thing is weird. That thing is something else. A parasite. The more they talk, though, it doesn't seem that he was that big of a player in the God War. You do know that eventually Astaroth kills Gorah and starts you on your incarnation cycle. But before that moment, he doesn't seem to be a vastly influential figure. He seems just like a weapon they have at their disposal. And a very opportunistic one at that. Celestion and eventually Rufus comes into the conversation. And they think that Astaroth is power hungry. He wants power above anything else. And if allying himself with that side will get him power, then he'll do it. But he may switch sides if the opportunity presented itself. Obviously, that did not come to fruition, but it is a conversation they had. And as this kind of like Assassin's Creed memory begins to fade out and you find yourself back into the Cosmos thing, Rufus appears one more time. And he goes, before your body wakes up, I do have one question.
Anything? Nope.
I never find myself at a loss for knowledge or a loss for facts, but something has eluded me. Thanks to you and a few of your friends and one deity, we have lost our brother. Celestion has been taken. But during that, something else hijacked that power. We know Astaroth hijacked it. But it seems like something else did as well. Do you know what gives your friend Aska her power? Who gives it power?
There was, I believe she had mentioned Scabaron.
No, Scabaron is close to death, I know this. It couldn't have been him.
Ooh.
That was what happened.
Don't trust
but
nobody.
I don't know what has after. There was a moment in time where she shifted. She had a moment where she called out to the moon, it seemed, and reforged her own destiny, really. That's all I can really explain it as. It was quite marvelous.
Quite marvelous indeed.
But it was an oath she made to herself.
Well, I don't think she's that powerful to give divine influence to herself, but something definitely did.
I've seen Stranger. But I do agree.
Oh well, I will keep looking into it.
I will alert her that you are looking into it. I hope that you understand.
And he just waves his hand and you slowly come back to consciousness.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon.
As you slowly wake up. Meditation girls. As you guys enter your meditation. as the both of you go about your nightly meditations. Azura, you meditate and not intrusively, almost just like trying not to bother you. The consciousness that is trapped inside your own head of Saloon comes in. I was very proud of you today. You acted like the leader I know you can be.
Thank you. That was a scary moment. I thought I was about to lose my father.
Indeed. And you will someday.
Yes.
But staving off death and putting yourself in the harm's way to do it, that is what leaders do. That is what queens do.
Thank you, sir.
I will leave you to your rest. I know you need it.
Thank you.
But you did not need my help, and that says a lot.
But I need your wisdom at times.
I'm always here. All you have to do is reach out. But I'm finding it quite enlightening, sitting on the sidelines and watching you work. You're unlike any other who I've had a connection with in the past. But I'm starting to think that might be a good thing.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Indeed.
Those went so well, I'm so nervous.
She was, I imagine, Seilu and her just...
She just kind of waits back, waiting if you need her, but not. Hey, what you doing? Not trying to bother you at all.
Man, imagine having a respectful roommate.
Hey, listen. Hey.
Blair,
Yeah.
you enter your meditation, and just like before, there's another consciousness, and the night before you had poked it and saw some unsettling things. As it apparates there this time, what are you doing?
I have to know. I have to.
You enter it, and this time it feels easier than it did last time, if only incrementally. As you enter the other consciousness, you see out a field with rain coming down, thunder and lightning, kind of echoes in the distance. But you are not getting wet because you are actually inside. It looks like some kind of cave waiting out the storm. You seem to be resting, and then like your eyes shift up, like you become alert. The eyes shake. They shake again. They stand up. What? What? Are you in my head?
Yes, I think we've done this a few times now.
He looks around the cave, kind of like paws at his head a bit. Just why?
I don't fully understand it myself. It seems we have some sort of connection.
What do I do?
What do you mean? What do you do to achieve what?
And he like looks around the cave, and you just see like bones are just kind of like littered around the cave. They look big. They look like cow bones and stuff. Not like people bones that you think. You don't get a good look at it, but I don't know why I am, or why they beat me, or who these people are that keep attacking me and finding me.
So I'd imagine Blair's been trying to keep her emotions kind of low because she doesn't want to freak him out, just kind of like a sensitive hey there, but just a wave of empathy and kind of sadness definitely spills over of that's just heartbreaking, you know. Well, I know of the people that you're speaking of, I believe. Can you describe what they look like so I know if I'm correct?
Two-legged, small, but also like me, but dumb, animalistic. They couldn't talk back to me. So I killed them. They were weak. And they wanted me to be stronger. So I was. And they didn't like that. What do you want of me?
So he's definitely talking about the captors, right? I just want to be sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Seems like he's talking about the Kazurith and the like.
Those people are not like all people. Not everyone's that way. And I hope you know that. Most people disagree strongly with what they've done to you and others like you. At one point, we were supposed to know each other before you ended up where you did. So all that I want for you is for you to be free of them. And perhaps we might be able to form the bond we were supposed to. That is all I seek.
You could make a persuasion check.
Yeah.
I shall call you Toothless.
You said persuasion, right?
Yeah.
26.
26. I think the thing's up.
Does the draconic sorcerer get advantage on persuasion checks made against dragons? Or am I making that up?
Is that a thing? I wish it was.
Get the buttons. Got it.
Oh, now look.
Do it.
What was it, though?
26, if not higher.
Draconic ancestry. Whenever you make a charisma check when interacting with dragons, your proficiency bonus is doubled if it applies to the check.
Oh.
And is that only for sorcerer and not a bard?
Draconic sorcerer, but
she has it.
Levels.
So was it like a 30?
So that's a 31.
31.
Fuck, man.
He.
Thanks, Chris.
Man, mistress.
The dragon known as Death contemplates for a second, and then.
Hey, he could still say no. It's Caleb's rule.
A dragon.
Called Death.
I would very much like to know something other than the life I've known.
I wonder. So, I don't know if you'll allow. I can tap into his brain. Blair not super smart. Can I attempt to connect the other way?
Sure.
What do you want me to do for
She's just
that?
gonna, like,
As
rage
you
and start killing
try
I would like to verbalize as well that I'm like, maybe I can try to have you see what I can see, so you can see something different, and then whatever.
You see the eyesight like contemplate for a second, and then he lays back down, and the eyes shut, and you hear him take a big breath in and out.
Dragon
And
meditation.
And out. And very slowly you feel the consciousness shift. As you have finished your meditation, you and Azura both come out of your meditation. And your eyes open, you see the space around you.
Let me take a intentionally slow pan.
You hear a voice in your head just, this is fascinating. This is where you are.
Yes.
And he doesn't say anything else. And you can't really you feel something, but now as you are conscious, it starts to really just kind of fade into the background.
She definitely thinks, I wonder if this is how Azura feels.
Wait, is she talking out loud?
Yes, I 100% went yes out loud with absolutely no prompting.
Sorry, what?
I'm gonna pause.
I didn't say anything.
You know how you and Saloon are kind of sharing a mind at the moment?
Sure.
I am attempting to do the same with my dragon.
You sure that's wise?
I think so. I think he's had a very rough time, and I'd like for him to see a different perspective.
So he's seeing you right now?
Can I tell that he's still there? You said it kind of fades.
It's you think that he's still there. It is very it's a strange sensation.
Cool.
You really can't tell if he's there or not.
I think so.
So that means he knows where we are, probably. No, that he's seen.
Well, the past few nights I've been able to tap into his perspective. It doesn't 100% point out where he is, but I can kind of see what he's seeing.
We'll see
It's
if
not
he's
like
good or
some
not.
magical system that would position where you are on the globe or anything.
If we have to fight a dragon, I guess we'll have to fight a dragon.
I don't think it will come to that.
You're front of the line then.
And the rest of you wake up.
Princess Positivity over here.
Start your day as the birds are chirping and the sun is shining through the tower window. And
The tank is clean.
yeah, the tank is clean. Oh, the tank is clean. As you guys begin your morning of getting breakfast, prepping whatever spells you need to prep. Eventually, about 30 minutes to an hour passes before you hear a knock at the door. And very slowly, the door opens and you see Lady Kaishari poke her head in, and she goes, "No more fights? Do we have a peaceful night?" Good. That's about how well I
Silence.
slept as well. She walks in. She goes, "I've already spoke with the Count.
They fucking.
He is actually downstairs in one of the castle council chambers. He has decided to meet us here, so he is ready to go whenever you are."
I'll be damned.
This is a
We probably
Is
will.
this is a personal meeting with the Count. This isn't a group meeting with like the leaders of Allglyre and other important.
nope,
This
just-
is a personal, private meeting with the Count.
Just us and the Count.
Well, that might make things easy. Or odd.
Maybe.
He usually is a quite reasonable person. I haven't had any reason to not be reasonable with him.
Well, he was fine the first time we met him. I don't see why that would be any different.
I almost mistook him for a ruffian.
I mistook him for a Fey being.
I liked him.
He dropped in and out like one.
I thought he was kind of cool.
You seem cute.
I mean,
Of course you have.
You don't count.
who hasn't pretended to be a peasant? I mean,
I haven't.
I just am one.
Oh no.
I haven't.
Does it count if you're not from this
I
planet?
haven't.
I'm still poor now.
Fair.
We're making a sad.
really can't argue with that.
Like, I'm poor either way.
That is pretty sound logic. That is how I define it.
I guess we can collect ourselves for a moment and then we'll be right down.
I will be waiting at the bottom of the stairs.
Should we go down or should he come up?
Later,
I
we
don't
should
know.
definitely go down to him. Later, I'd like to have a word with you, though.
Do we have like a place of meeting, like
Something private?
a council room?
Yes, there.
It's
He's
said
in.
a council chamber.
But we're gonna meet him in his chamber?
Like it's like a conference room essentially.
Proof boys
Yeah,
don't
I
listen
assume
to
so.
shit.
No, Dylan hears the word chamber and thinks chamber pot, like bathroom.
I was thinking Chamber of Secrets, but alright.
Moaning Myrtle.
Here's the rails.
This game has no rails, you know that.
Just got down at that bitch. moaning murder.
I will be
While I was
waiting
done.
downstairs. Collect yourselves. Don't have him wait too long. He's technically still the Count. And she leaves.
Technically.
That
Technically?
bitch gave
Um,
me all the warts.
I think Asuka's been at the table, kind of absent-mindedly grazing on whatever food is around, and maybe having a glass of last night's wine or something, just to start the day. But also, like, in the other hand, has just been kind of etching, like, with, like, a metal stylus, has been etching runes onto her armor in Primordial, so no one else can read them. But it's almost like sketching out, like, really quick equations, almost, and at different angles, just making shapes and things. Getting that done. And so while she's doing that, she, once Kashari closes the door, Ashka will say, well, in the few minutes we have, given this groups, and she will look, I guess, specifically over at the people who dream on a regular basis, and say, given this group's propensity for nighttime revelations, any news to share before we meet with one of the most powerful people in the land?
You're staring at me.
Azura's gonna look right at there. I had a bit of a thing when I talked to Rufus, which was interesting. I don't know if you all know Rufus.
Who the fuck is Rufus? As Nicole, I think I was not here.
Rufus is Mars.
Cool, thanks.
Mars?
It's not Mars, but Red Planet guy who likes knowledge.
Red Planet, that's definitely
It
not
sounds
Mars.
Mars.
Got
We
it.
talked about this. There's a short about it.
It's totally
Yep.
Mars.
There's a short.
Oh, okay,
Rufus
that's
is
where. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it's not Mars.
I think I
Rufus-
came in during that short, so.
Yeah.
Rufus knows many things, but he's specifically puzzled by you, Aska, and I wanted to make sure that you knew that his eye was placed upon you quite perplexedly, not maliciously.
Someone
It's-
has their eye on Aska, huh?
Not that kind,
Like you talk for it.
Horny elves.
Why?
because they don't know where you get your power.
Oh, well, that makes two of us.
That's what I told him. Well, technically two of us there, but I didn't know if you knew or learned something else because I didn't ask, really.
I have no idea.
I think we should probably try to find out. That might be fun.
I think we have different definitions of fun.
I'm trying to be sarcastic.
Oh.
No, I mean, I'm all for finding answers. I'm just not sure. I don't think it's the highest priority at the moment.
I
Other
agree.
things.
I
Gestures
just
at
felt
the
that it might
everything.
be either of note or perhaps alarming that a god just decided to be looking at you.
No, absolutely. I mean, if I become a mystery to a god of knowledge, then I
Fuck.
suppose I've accomplished something.
I'm an
in my life.
enigma.
Congratulations.
We really need to make a to-do list.
Indeed.
We really need to get our priorities straight.
Let's go.
Delilah was working on that, wasn't she? The board?
At
The board. And I point to it. Just yard, just hanging
Looks
down.
closer at
thumbtacks.
drunken scribblings.
I took it down.
Oh,
And
damn.
I'm like, it's definitely.
You were so close.
You just point at the remnant.
There's like one string that's just got left up there.
A thumbtack.
A question
Yeah.
mark.
Dangerous thumbtack.
Just a blank sticky note.
Fuck it. So yeah, that's my dreams. I've tried to get more information on past lives, and I now have access to all of them now, which is interesting.
Interesting.
Anybody else dream cool?
Did you have anything to add?
Just talk to Saloon. Nothing enlightening.
That's good.
Well, Aaron.
So, as we all know,
Oh no.
I have been, kind of connecting with the dragon known by Death. And normally I can kind of tap into his perspective, I guess his consciousness, so I can kind of see what's happening. Well, I thought I'd try something different, and I allowed him to tap into mine.
Interesting. That might
You
not.
think that's a wise idea?
Well, it's done now.
I don't see why not.
Obviously not
I've
your
tapped
objective
into his a
goal.
few times, and it's gotten easier each time, so there's less resistance. He seems to be becoming accustomed to the company, I suppose. Really, all it does is it's more of like a. How is it for you? I guess for me, when I tap into his perspective, it's really just hearing his thoughts and seeing what he sees. There's no interference, though. It's like watching a play. You can't interact, but you can watch the actions unfold.
I see. Unless you yell loud enough for through some natives. But yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Was he awake or asleep or meditating like you were?
Did he seem to be sleeping? I mean, his eyes were open when I was there.
As best as you can tell, he had to go into some sort of dragon meditation.
Well, to switch over, but when I...
He was awake.
So he was awake when I kind of tapped into him. But he seemed to have to do some sort of dragon meditation to tap into mine. So it seems that whoever is reaching out has to subdue themselves to reach through. Basically, when I reached through, we had a little bit of a conversation where he asked some questions about why he was being pursued and attacked by, the Kazureth.
But you feel the connection. That's my thing. I'm trying to get out
right now.
Hard
Any
to tell.
more or less than before.
Hard
so
to tell.
We definitely made contact, me to him and him to me. I can't really tell if it's still there, because it's now been like 4 hours later, I assume.
It's been a little while.
I would just worry about if you start to feel that little twinge during the waking hours and you're not fully conscious of it, if he's able to look through you as you do him. If he were to meditate and try to connect with you and become aware of everything you were aware of, should he not be so friendly, it may put us at a disadvantage.
That was precisely why I wanted to have him see things from my perspective, quite literally. He was asking questions about what he didn't know the words for, the Kazureth, and what they did to him. He didn't understand why the small ones, as he put it, the two-legged ones, were hurting him. And I was trying to explain that not everyone is that way, and that things, aren't everywhere the way that he has experienced them. And I tried to kind of begin the discussion that things weren't supposed to be that way, but I didn't want to overwhelm him, so I asked if he'd like to see how things are where I am, and he agreed. And that's where, for at least a little while, I don't know if he is still here, I kind of shared my perspective. I mean, we're having conversation now,
That's a
at the
start.
least.
That's a start, and it's commendable.
He definitely seemed receptive from my understanding.
He just sounds like he's broken.
It was so sad. But we do have to talk to the Count. I mean, we can definitely talk about this later.
Oh,
But
of course, yeah.
Should we mention this at all too?
I don't think so.
What do we want to talk to the Count?
I believe that we wanted to talk, not me pulling up our group chat. I believe that we should definitely
Can you look
talk
at the
about
screen
the
and see
situation
if this
with
would negate
the
mine?
Cloverlit and
Or if
the
I would just
situation
add
with the letter. Is there anything else that anyone thinks we should discuss, or any specific details people want omitted? Gestures at Azura with the Cloverlit situation.
I'm on it.
We might want to mention perhaps the
You just take
resistance
whichever's higher.
pins and the assassination.
I'm not as well versed in that. If somebody wanted to help with that situation.
I could.
Nicole speaking through Blair.
I can try to help. I know that the resistance has been going through and it's been a hot minute. I'm versed and I'm sure I can, provide the 3 that I have on my person now.
Which was it?
The resistance pin.
Resistance shit.
I think you guys have 3 now. Yeah.
All bloodstains. One was
Because
found.
I still have
Yes.
one I don't think I gave to you.
Gimme.
Okay. Well, so
Above board.
So
Yeah.
Delilah, So Delilah has
love our fourth wall
one that she
breaks.
found. Then you have one that you found on your father, and then you found one at the site of the Crimson Fox's prison.
It's definitely one of
prison
our more
cart break.
We
convoluted
found one
plots.
that was in people's hands when they got stabbed in the street. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then one in my father's hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure if I'd be the best to speak about it all, since I wasn't there for some of it.
I have a personal vendetta. Don't worry about it.
As far as the Galendel letter situation, do we want to mention it?
It's our strongest evidence if we want to make any kind of move against the Galendels.
How do we want to approach it? I'm aware of my own biases in this situation.
I would ask for
very
options.
British this
Guise
episode.
it as I would guise it as a thing of saying that his family signed off on a letter that involved something with kidnapping Azura and her father.
I agree. Present the most immediate evidence at our disposal. Engage his reaction before we supply any additional information.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Although I would suspect that he is quite accomplished at guarding his expressions.
But we could perhaps put
And
up...
especially on the fact that he's part of the Noble Commission, and there's a lot of things with the Noble Commission that have been going on that connect to things that we've been dealing with.
Yes,
So,
downplay our
maybe
own criminal activity in relation to the Noble Commission, for sure.
I can help with
Perhaps.
Yes.
Perhaps.
We might also want to do another zone of truth so that we don't...
I
we tell
don't.
the truth.
I don't know about that.
Really?
I would like the
Last
option
time I
to
was under
lie.
that spell, I got quite nervous.
It just has a.
It just didn't go very well.
Alright.
The idea that you could lie.
I find that
nice.
small half-truths tend to grease the wheel of conversation. Work
Right.
stuff?
Huh?
Work stuff? No. Nicole to Taylor. I don't know that you can read minds, right? It's been a hot minute since that
I don't
happened.
think it's ever come up.
I think,
It has never come up.
I was like, I don't think it came up publicly. Okay.
Here's the thing. Above board, the mind reading thing, it's an active thing and it doesn't always work.
Okay.
It is nice to
Blair
have.
knew she would ask about it, but since Blair doesn't know, I'm just gonna glance over that. Alright, I guess we are ready to go then.
Yeah,
She gestures and then realizes she should lead, so she starts.
Good plan.
Last suggestion. I say we try to read the Count as best as we all can before we make any hard line stands. Obviously, we have a vendetta against the Galendels, and we need to act on that in some way.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. I can't do that.
That's gonna pop up on the recording.
It's gonna bother you. I think we should try to lead the conversation in a way that gets him to reveal how he feels about certain individuals that we are aware of.
I definitely think asking questions before giving our own information was my thought to go about it. And if everyone's alright with me possibly kind of taking the lead here, I just think from a noble to noble kind of situation.
Call on us as subject matter experts, perhaps.
Yes.
So,
I think if anyone has the right to take the lead, it is you.
I'd
Even
agree.
though this is your home.
Agreed.
If anybody has any interjections that would
Of
be
course.
appropriate, understood. But yes, I think it would be best if you took the lead.
Azura, do not jump the count.
I was never thinking.
You already
Are
have
you
a little
sure?
bit of
He's
competition.
cute, not hot.
Oh, I see.
I wasn't aware of the distinction of the
Neither
difference.
was I.
There's a clear distinction.
I see. It's really clear as mud.
You really shouldn't
I
talk.
didn't have that in my character notes.
You really shouldn't talk about the Count that way.
You're not.
Run her high, please.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys.
Asuka, stands up, puts a hand on her armor. It, you know,
So
she
Iron
downs
Man
it,
shit, yeah.
and then she throws the tattered remains of that like half cape on from the night before,
Alright, you guys
and
all
then
head down.
If I haven't
grabs
already,
the
I'm getting
table
my
and
sword
just
back.
Slides it all
Oh,
over.
yeah, I'm assuming.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Well, that's new.
Knocks over glasses and...
Yeah, like
Such a
looks at her
mess.
hands, like flexes them for a second, and goes, "Yes, let's just say I have been working on something."
Level up.
Did I miss something?
Yeah, she's
Apparently
broken.
so good, this table, my grips
She's
are
got the
on
force.
the floor.
Aska is a terrifying force of nature now.
Just for flavor, while we're walking, I would like to kind of put a hand on Moonblade and see how Moonblade feels about the situation, because I haven't checked in with them in a while, and this is intimidating.
She's cautious because you're uneasy, but other than that, they seem to be like jovial just by being in Oglyre again. They are home and they feel like it.
Cool.
But yes, you get all of your equipment back.
Okay.
Everyone has,
My
I imagine,
shit.
after last night, everyone has like keeping their shit on them.
Nothing is missing.
Mostly because I got
no.
through security. Now I don't have to worry about it because I know they're not going to check.
I kind of
the
live here,
plastic
so
cups
you're
are
in
the-
good
if you
company.
want those. I was gonna say there's other cups, but that's good.
Good host.
I'm just glad you know where the cups are.
I texted him and was like, "Where are the cups?"
I should have brought them.
That's what was going on. Sorry.
All good. So you guys all make your way down the tower steps.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know why it sounds like kimchi.
Why does it do that?
It has a
Nitrogen
it's got
ball
a
in it.
nitrogen container in it.
Jesus, sounds like a bomb going
Scared
off.
the shit out of me.
I'm so sorry.
As-
nitrogen,
I
not
know you're trying to
hydrogen.
get us down the stairs, but can I make
Right.
a point before we go down?
Yeah, I mean the
Hand
count's
on the
waiting on you guys.
doorknob.
That's all.
As we're going down, I would like to kind of hang back towards Aska, and I would like to pop Greater Comprehension as part of my.
Greater comprehension?
Yes,
He got a big thinking me.
I can read any language. And I'm just going to eye the shit out of Aska and read.
The veins on Chris's
Read
forehead.
like a book! Book!
Anyway, that's
my
not
God.
exceptional. The veins in my forehead do things.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's always got them.
Well, yeah.
Mega
Is there
minds.
anything you'd like to enlighten Kirk on as he reads your armor?
It's boy.
Honestly, you could text it. I mean,
No. I
Okay.
don't mind. It's not like secrets. I would say maybe with Caleb's buy, you might have to make our kind of. I think you recognize. Like you understand bits and pieces of it automatically, I would say, but it I said written like equations almost, and it is it's like combining glyphs and phrases and like concepts in ways that I don't know would make. I don't know if it would
I would
make
say
sense
the
to you.
wizard would probably click on what
Yeah.
they would
And so,
knowing that they're
It's
formula.
basically just like
I'm trying
It
to
spells,
I'm trying to
basically. It
ascertain
spells-
what it's doing to you.
yeah. So there's a
Word.
thing. Man, this. Okay, that's fine.
It's a good spell.
You
It's
see,
not a
like,
spell.
Oh shit.
some of it is channeling, focusing magical power into like the limbs of the armor, and some of it is focused. You see elements of this spell that's like you see it has like a limited capacity, but it's basically like, hey, sometimes you don't have to be on the ground. And you can control that sometimes, if you want.
Definitely
for a certain amount
not
of time.
flying.
And then another
Not
bit
flying.
that's like, it's focused on the helmet. You see like runes on the helmet that almost look like eyes, kind of scratched in eyes that go around the back of it. And it's just like, hey, I got you. Don't worry. Like, basically, yeah, I don't want to give away the mechanical stuff, like, too in detail, but you see things along that line.
Yeah, I would say probably more alert.
Yeah,
Uh,
more alert.
Enhancing
I
your
got you,
abilities.
fam.
The helmet is making her more alert if watching out. The limbs are definitely becoming stronger than they should be.
Okay.
And the feet look like they could
Go.
don't have to be on the ground if they don't want to.
Right, so.
I love saying less with more
You've
words.
also noticed that the cape that she has on it shimmers with a little, like, warding power, warding energy.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Caleb, stop it.
You guys get down to the stairs in case Shari
Man, I thought
goes.
necklace of get up was something else.
Okay, Shari looks at you and
Helmet
goes,
of look out.
well, you took your
Gloves of
sweet
move."
time, didn't you?
Shoes
And-
of don't be on the ground, maybe sometimes.
all right.
Shoes
Possibly.
up.
Focus
Alright,
in,
come on,
guys.
come
I'm
on,
talking.
sorry.
Come on. Okay, Shari goes, look at you, and you took your sweet time, didn't you? And walks off and leads you guys down another corridor. You guys walk past the ball chamber that you were the night before, and you see they're setting up for the New Day's festivities. But you also notice already an increased security force that was not there the past few days. Looks like they're ramping up security because shit went down, so they're trying to prevent any more noble deaths, because I think 4 people got smited.
Did they already clean up the fucking hole that the dragon made going through?
You
It's
can't
like
tell
the
from walking
plastic and
by,
tape,
but
like
they
a car window.
yeah looks like there is some kind of they are kind of blocking off
Halt.
some parts of it.
The signs that say mind our dust.
Yeah, they're trying to figure it out.
Halt, keep alert over and over on parchment.
For the record, I feel like if anybody should be allowed to keep their weapons, it should be us.
Well,
Mine's
at
a
this point,
family
you guys are
heirloom.
definitely like not dressed for the ball. You
We
guys
have the
are-
chunkiest of Chochi, though.
All right.
but she leads you to the chamber, opens the door, and as soon as you open the door, a not thick, but a plume of smoke hits you. And from you guys being around Ardosh and being around these two, you immediately notice the smell of gnome leaf. And you see on this long conference table at one end of it with his feet up on the chair, smoking a pipe, you see Preston, the Count of Nefasto, and as the door swings open, he goes
This is just Caleb.
and just empties it, throws the pipe aside, fixes his hair, and he goes, welcome, and Keshar is just,
Does it smell like high quality shit? I imagine.
oh yeah,
The highest?
yeah,
It's
better.
rich as fuck.
It is dank.
Well,
It
we
is.
need to know if
it
he's
is.
getting ripped off.
Phil goes, sticky.
No, it isn't. Good morning.
Blair
Welcome.
pretends nothing's amiss in, proper introduction. Lyra, whatever.
You guys made quite a spectacle yesterday. I've been told. I'm glad none of you got too hurt. A few dignitaries died. That was interesting to wake up to. But aside from that, festivities go on, right? And Keshar is just walks up to him. Preston, what the hell are you doing? Anyways, I heard you wanted to speak with me. What can we talk about?
Yes, we had just wanted to seek your counsel about a concern that was kind of brought to our attention a little bit before, but especially kind of came to fruition last night. I suppose it would be best to ask if you are aware of a group known as the Cloverlit. And I'd like to insight check all his responses.
Doesn't sound like it. We'll have one person roll at advantage. We can change it up if you guys are every word he says.
I'm very happy to.
But if everyone is
What's your
insight
insight
checking,
checks?
then
I have expertise.
Is it a +5?
Plus 12.
Detect thoughts.
detect thoughts.
Hang on, extra-
You
But go ahead.
I have a +10.
No matter. No matter.
Sorry, are we doing insight checks? What are we doing?
I'll allow one meta for this since
Okay.
you guys are basically all judging this guy. Whoever has the highest.
Anyone beat a plus 12.
You get an advantage.
Jesus.
I got a +10.
I have a
Jesus.
+2.
I love playing a
Okay,
bard.
so advantage +12. Kirk, you subtly cast detect thoughts and are booted, just like the last time you tried to cast it. You are not allowed in at all.
Get fucked.
Get rigged.
That'll be
Yeah.
Just because I didn't want to interrupt and anything, before we walked in that room, I would have sleight-of-handed casted Detect Magic before we walked in that room.
Okay.
I was about to do the same thing, except I wouldn't have done sleight of hand. I just went past it.
Well, since you cast it before you get in the room, if you really want to sleight of hand, you can, but he wouldn't pick up on it if you cast it before the room.
Smoke.
But
doinked.
you obviously see all the magic on all of your compatriots. But the only magical thing that you sense from inside that room is a small aura, I guess, on his hand. And that seems to be the only magical thing that he has. What was your roll?
Did you want to say anything?
I can't remember if any of the stuff hiding my poison is magic.
Poison.
I don't think so. I
Okay,
think you just
you
put
just-
it.
you
That's
just
good, because I couldn't
strategically hid
remember.
it.
Yeah,
you
you
just hid it
just
in
took like
places.
an hour to put it in your outfit, I think is what we decided.
but
I like
he-
hid it in like jewelry and
Yeah.
stuff so it blends in, so it wouldn't get taken even if I got searched.
Yeah, but he says that he has no idea who the Cloverlit is.
I rolled 30.
30 seems like he's telling the truth.
Don't lie to me,
I
motherfucker.
got a 27, and I'm upset because you beat me with it.
I've never heard of them in my life.
I don't have
Is
enough
that who
D6s.
attacks you? Well, I guess you, if the reports are to be believed.
A little
Yes.
complicated.
According to my father, they seem to be a group of druids that has had a long-standing feud against the Lunarians. Back when
So this is a personal beef.
Yes.
Dude, he's a fucking bro.
Did he say beef?
He said fucking beef.
I fucking love it.
Oh my god.
Yes, a personal beef, but
Tulal's gonna hate him.
it
But I love
appears
him.
that
Jesse
there's a
picked him.
family involved in this beef.
Yes. How familiar are you with the Galendels and their
This isn't about food.
going-ons? And
Well.
insight check, of course.
Well, their personal going-ons, I mean, I'm not in their business, but they are one of my vassals, technically, so I pride myself on knowing them.
Check it.
Are we alternating, or is it me?
Well, it's
I
you
think it's
because
you
you're
with-
you with
Okay,
advantage.
cool.
Fucking send it. I
But
would help, I guess, with my.
So 17 plus 12 is 29.
he seems like he's telling the truth. You suspect them of the Galendels specifically of fomenting this plot.
Did the letters like shit, right? Like it got destroyed. There was no.
The only things you could read on it were catacombs and garnet faltho.
And the like, because it was like the symbol that we could tell was
Mhm, and the
Galendel.
seal of the Galendels, yeah.
Should we show him?
I kind of look at you guys as I like reach for inventory. Okay, I'm gonna approach and
Oh, this has
So-
been fucked.
a little bit, but it seems to be pointing towards that. What was what was on the one who attacked Azura's father last night, Sir Thorn. Forgot your last name for a second.
Well,
So they seem to be employing people to essentially signing off on a letter to kidnap the Lunariums. We'd questioned the one who attacked the Lunariums, and they essentially seem to want to, in their words, bleed them dry for nefarious cult purposes.
oh, that is nefarious. Well, there's not much to go on, obviously. I mean, you've seen this piece of paper. I can tell that Garnet Faltho is not a Galendel, by any means. I think he recently became an advisor to Aerolith, but he is not a Galendel. I don't know why he would have a signet ring at all, actually.
He serves them, maybe.
Oh no, he's the direct advisor to the Baron of the Lorethian Ward, but that jurisdiction does not give you the ability to use the signet ring,
Interesting.
and
I thought it suspect as well.
Who doesn't have it, then who does? Ooh.
I
No
hadn't-
matter what the answer is, it can't be good.
It's very interesting. It thickens.
I like that you're just along for the soap opera.
Oh,
Well, I'll do you one better.
Much more
I
pleasant
did
than
not-
his life.
I honestly forgot that there were catacombs. When the city was younger than it is now and just starting to grow and when there were just 5 cities and they were growing into each other, they had to put their dead somewhere. So a series of catacombs were made to connect the wards. I don't know the significance of it, but there is definitely catacombs that would connect this ward with the Galendel.
Is this was Astra, the church recently that was, I'm sure the news isn't quite spread of it, but Astra, there was a smaller church here that dealt with the dead. I don't know if they took care of all of the dead, and if these are connected to these catacombs or not.
I'm not well versed on every religious center.
Fair.
But I do know that there were a few death religions that were caretakers of the catacombs. That sounds about right to me.
So if someone were to, say, wipe out one of these branches to cover up their tracks...
Well, where was this church located?
A hole in the wall, really.
Well,
in Oglyre.
It seems to tie into the other sort of avenue that we think could potentially be connected to this mess. There's been
It was the basically
Bar.
northeast one.
Gotcha.
Not here.
Yeah.
But the point being that there's not one entrance. There's multiple.
They
Well-
seem to be separated from each other, yes?
I haven't been down there.
That's fine.
But rumor has it that during previous times of war, you could use them to essentially go from one ward to another completely underground using these sets of tunnels.
Well, we had a thought that this perhaps might tie into another thing that we've kind of run into in our time in the city. We have become aware, and I might pass the floor to you on this, a matter of a sort of, it was a rebellion, right? Resistance. Of a sort of, I want to use the right word.
I feel like they're
The Defiance.
Defiance.
defiant.
He
a
actually corrects you. I think he
group
the,
that calls themselves
the Defiance.
Yes.
Yes, I'm aware of them.
Well, they seem to be everywhere we are as well. And I gesture for
Can I
Tulad.
insight check that one? On that in particular, yeah, I'm aware of them. That, like, what was behind that? Can I insight check that?
Sure. Do you want to do a straight one, or do you want to use Blair's ridiculous advantage?
Can I have the advantage? But
Sure, you can have the advantage.
Well, that's a 16,
Oh,
and that's a 19. 19.
I'm glad I didn't
plus-
waste that then. I dropped it. It's a
Insight
20.
goes off of, it's been a while. Charisma, correct?
No, I think it's
Wisdom.
it's wisdom.
Wisdom? Okay. 21.
21. There's definite disdain in his voice, but also like it's like a when there's like inferior competition and someone brings up their name, you're like, okay, yeah, I know that guy. Sure.
Kirk.
Yeah.
And the friend. That's not a
yeah.
friend.
Yeah, how Damon talks about Kirk.
Thank you.
Sure.
I was like,
I'm very familiar with this then. Okay, cool.
this is just Kirk's constant state.
Tone.
I've had to.
It's my tone.
I've attended some meetings. Yes.
Oh. Regarding them or with them?
That's a good question.
Blair ruffles a.
And he actually thinks for a second. He goes, "Just regarding them, I don't actually think I've talked to any of their leaders.
Check.
To what I know, they don't actually care about me all that much. They actually
I
are
suck.
Quite against you, yeah?
more so against the baronies
I see.
themselves.
Have proficiency. Means keep
I
it lower than a 10.
I don't like to get too in the politics. In case Shari can attest to this, I pay people very well to do that sort of thing for me.
I want to look at Keishori's reaction.
And Keishari's just like,
I
yeah.
love doing the count's work at not the count's pay.
Yeah. I more so just fund things, and
Figurehead.
but yes. I do work, but all my work is more, I like my job. I've always liked my job, and my job has gotten me to places I never dreamt I would be. But I am not cut out for governing, if that makes sense.
I see.
In the Defiance, from what I've been told, wants to separate the generations of elves who essentially lord over the rest of the short-lived, as the elves called them. They want to separate their governments from the elves. And me, being a not elf, I don't really think that I'm on their chopping block, so to say.
Blair looks kind of awkward.
Why would they? I found one in Auchenhaven. Auchenhaven.
Say it again.
Yeah,
for the
that
people
doesn't
in the
make any
back.
sense.
Quite. So that's why it's confusing. My father held a pin in his hands as he had
Warning, I'm
That's-
opening another.
They seem to be
So loud.
branching out, which was kind of our concern and confusion.
I
It seems that their objectives, from what we can tell, may align with odd other cult behavior, like the Cloverlit and the Lunariums. Against the Lunariums. Obviously, the Lunariums are not involved.
honestly, I have never thought the Defiance to be any sort of a threat. I mean, maybe there's more going on. Maybe there are connections that
They
I
killed your
don't
dad.
know about. But from what I see, it's mainly loudmouth people handing out pamphlets on street corners, more so than actual terrorism like the Cloverlit. I feel like that's
Well,
been much more of a apparent problem than the Defiance ever has been.
they did kill the Patriarch of Arkenhaven, and
That's a problem.
Or perhaps they were using the movement to...
Yes, do we know that for certain?
We don't. All we lead, they
a
leave
calling
the
card
same
is
things.
quite specific.
But
Yes, but how many people do a political assassination unless they're terrorists and say, "Hi, we did it"? Are you aware of the leaders of the Defiance?
No, not a single one.
You don't know any of their power group.
No, and that's why I honestly don't think they're very organized.
No,
No, but you should check him to see if he's lying.
I haven't seen any sort of organization. They haven't had any leaders reach out for any sort of negotiation. I
then have you been aware of any other assassinations, or who might be aware of them?
not since the Banished.
The Banished.
Less of an assassination and more of a duel went wrong. A younger elf and his students who followed him like a god. They got into a bit of a disagreement with some Corinthial delegates and
We know who this is.
murdered them quite
Nicole is dumb.
quite viciously.
Sounds super familiar.
It does.
Violence.
Actually,
Yeah.
my chancellor is actually his son, who we were forced to
Yikes.
exile him.
X-nay on the murder, eh?
No, that was definitely above board. Who the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah.
Blair definitely didn't look over and go, "What the fuck are we talking about?"
Right.
She has definitely the wherewithal to, like, not do that.
Come on,
I'm gonna.
Caleb. What did he just say?
He just said that the guy who got banished with his lackeys was the son of his chancellor.
Wow.
Do you-
So interesting.
Do you think that might not be a breach in security?
Oh, it was. He was basically disowned, as far as I know. The execution was on the table, but you know how politics and nobles go. That was quickly swept under the rug. I had just came to not just came, but you know,
Just came.
had just finished up solidifying some of my power.
I mean, you could be solid. But then you are.
I mean, he really got the shaft, honestly.
All right.
We're the
Good
worst.
night. It's fine. It's just overall.
How do you feel, Chris? How do you feel?
Yeah, right? Isn't it great not really being able to participate in what's happening?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's funny.
You're fine.
It's not fine. There's a mess.
Yeah. As soon as he says that, I'm gonna be like, do you know what the duel was about right now?
Oh, yeah. Good question.
Who with?
And who with?
Are we asking and who with?
It was.
And who with?
Yeah, I attached
was,
that onto her question.
They honestly weren't even a big deal. They were I think senators from the Corinthial ward. They had. It was a dispute over something stupid, if I remember. It was really needless. They had insulted his lack of ability to walk, I think. And they were challenged to a duel, and when they showed up, the normal rules of the duel were not listened to, and they were essentially vaporized. It got quite messy. It was a whole scandal. It was a really big thing.
Do I remember this? Is it pretty much exactly how he said it?
Yes. I'm trying to think. Would you actually? Yeah. It would.
I'm sure I would have heard of it.
Yeah. It was. Again. It was swept under. It was tried to get swept under the rug.
That's a
So
big
it would.
fucking deal.
It was like, hey, this something happened and some people got murdered. And we don't really know who murdered them. It was kind of a thing. Anyways, moving on. But it was definitely Iolus and his banished brigade that you guys had fought.
So Blair's face definitely is like, oh yeah, that happened. Pretty much exactly like that. Yeah, that thing.
Asker will chime in and say, that must have been very difficult for the boy's father.
Yes, he took it quite personally. He was actually the one, he was the one pushing execution, actually.
By the stars.
Blair's composure drops for a second, just in shock.
Very.
A matter of honor?
I'm sorry?
Was that a matter of honor for him then?
Yes. He took it personally that his son stepped out of line.
Telepathy. Should we just complete?
She's like trying to recover her composure, and she's no. I don't think so.
Are you having that conversation right in front of him?
It's telepathically.
Okay.
And that's why I'm like, as she's like kind of putting herself back together, so if she kind of looks weird, hopefully it's just like getting over his father wanted him killed bomb.
Just because I can't read minds doesn't mean he can.
New fear unlocked.
Alright.
Telepaths.
And does anyone know where this boy is now? Him and his followers.
Not that I know of. Once he was out of the city, I moved on to other business.
Didn't we, kill him?
Oh my god!
We murder Azura.
Azura gets full aid.
Yeah, I don't know where he went. I just know that he really tried to emulate his father. His father has his own bodyguard team, and he really wanted to make his own, but they were all power hungry and quite a mess.
Sounds like it.
Bringing it back to the Galendels.
Right?
Of course, yes. I'm so sorry.
Sounds like he gets what he...
What we have here, is it actionable, considering the events of last night?
And he holds up the charred piece of paper. I don't think this is enough evidence for me to do anything, but protectors of the realm perhaps could do a bit of investigating.
Because our main concern being... Oh, sorry.
Is that us? Are we protectors of the realm?
Hold on.
What if we bring in a witness? King Thorn was there and was subject of the attack.
I thought she wanted to ask the body again.
Like, damn, leave that bitch alone.
Does he have ample evidence against the Galendel specifically?
Yeah, drugs.
Well, he was
Not
witness
against
to
the
our
Galendels per se,
interrogation.
But more of the fact that he was targeted of this attack.
Well, I don't
his
think
daughter
that's...
was also the same target of.
I don't think that's in any dispute, but to take action against the Galendels, but that is something I wanted to talk to you. And he looks at Kay-Shari, and Kay-Shari kind of like stifles a smile just a bit, and then regains her composure. And he noticed your face at Protectors of the Realm and your confusion. And he goes, I actually had planned, after our meeting and the events of last night, and talking with Kay-Shari last night and this morning, and she just kind of goes red a bit. And he goes, I had actually wanted to announce you as Protectors of the Realm, and my personal squad of heroes. I don't have anything at my disposal, quite like the group of you, and it may give you a bit more leeway in being able to get some places.
Blair's gonna kind of glance back because you reminded me that telepathy is a thing. I'm always for upping our status. It can only benefit our future cause, cough, dragon, cough.
Literally an elevation.
The higher up we are in this bitch, the harder it will be to get rid of us.
Does that mean we'll finally get our own rooms?
Like bunker?
Accommodation will be a part of it.
Yes!
I think
I'm gonna bring Bixby in there.
Oh no.
That's my son.
What did you say, Chris?
I said Aska is glad that she's wearing a helmet because she's drooling.
It'll just start making its way out. It's called rust.
Oh!
No, it's just steam.
Oh, it's steam.
It's the metal.
Man, she's
It's the helmet.
smoking.
Yeah, not to put you all on the spot, but it may also act as a deterrent for anything else, any further terrorist plots. Again, I want the rest of this weekend to go on without a hitch, and directly acknowledging the people who have. I don't know if you guys know this, but rumors are flying around the city about the group of you.
Blair's gonna chuckle in Raised from the Dead.
There was obviously last night, but there was also what was it? And Kay-Shari goes, the Empty Bod's Armory, and yes, that event. There was that as well, and you.
I don't think we've been officially or publicly linked to that. That's alleged.
Not publicly,
odd
but
rumor.
Definitely privately.
Such an odd rumor, as we definitely had nothing to do with it.
I
Please.
played the fifth.
Wow, just calling me on my bullshit.
Please.
Okay.
No,
He
he
inside
knows.
checks you.
Not even. He knows the truth.
The audacity.
He
How would he know?
he talks to Kay-Shari.
They talk intimately.
Blair definitely gives her a look.
And she is still
Pillow
blushing and
talk.
looking down.
Pillow talking bitch.
But also like, there have been a slight local legend growing ever since you all walked through with an angel. That's you guys have been called the Lightbringers in some parts of Oglyre and the surrounding harbor districts. So I just pulling you guys out of the shadows and putting you in the light behind me, it could help us mutually. Maybe.
Well, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm certainly in favor of this. Glances back at the group.
Kirk's shitting his pants.
Fine with it.
Kirk is just thinking how quickly he can find Damon to shove it in his face that he's directly serving the count.
No, he's not. No.
What the fuck are you thinking then?
Making a
I would like to know a lot more about what this position would entail. Are we in your pocket?
Is there money?
There would be a monthly stipend.
You're in his pocket?
Yes!
I don't know that in my pocket, but in my employ. I don't know that I have anyone in my pocket. It more so be a benefactor.
Could
He's got Kay-Shari.
Could we have the room?
If anything, he's in Keshari's pocket.
We all know who runs this relationship.
Is there a second room?
Are we taking the
We
room
need to
from
talk.
the couch?
We need to talk about that.
Do you mind if we step out for a second,
Yeah,
perhaps?
just into the hall.
I actually have other meetings to get to, so
Okay,
if you
we don't have to make a decision now about that, though.
you do not have to make a decision now, but I would like an answer before the festivities. I have other announcements to make, and I had hoped that you'd be a part of that, but I cannot let you in on other information without a contract of employment, essentially. But I'd like to make those announcements at the same time for more gravitas. I think it could help. So if you'd like to take your time, please do, but I need an answer, a yes or a no, before the festivities continue tonight.
Go ahead.
I think we are definitely leaning more positively. I'm sure Keshari will let you know.
If not, I can send word.
I just wanted to highlight
any way
their
you wish to
relationship
reach
to
out,
embarrass Keshari further.
I'm gonna
Aaron
be
might have
having
more.
meetings until then. Boring stuff, essentially. But you said questions.
What privileges would we be allowed? What responsibilities would we have? Who answers to us? Who do we answer to besides you? And what is our jurisdiction?
Already do.
Well, your
ignore her
jurisdiction
anyway.
would be the county as a whole. Your responsibilities would be any problems that may arise that like last night or any future. You are very powerful individuals. Powerful individuals usually have powerful foes. If these powerful foes, and again, you said defiance, you said cults, you've said terrorists, you've said a lot of things. I want a strike team that can combat these things effectively. As for other things that would be at your disposal, you would have a once it's completed, it still has about 6 months or so, I think, to go on completion. But once my Stronghold Castle to the west is completed, you will have an entire ward of it to yourselves. You will have a monthly stipend to any sort of equipment you would need, that sort of thing. All of you would also get a signet ring based on my design, but with a specific markings to designate you as a team. And as for who you would answer to, you would essentially just answer to me directly.
Yeah, bro.
This is just between us.
Blair looks so excited, but she's trying to tamper it.
An answer to us?
An answer to
Do
you.
we work with the Noble Commission? Do we have
You would essentially be employees of the Noble Commission.
Okay.
The Noble Commission is my company.
Right. And interacting with other members of that.
Yes. It's a
It's a case by case thing.
It's a multinational conglomerate of a corporation of business ventures and trading
yes, I
capacities.
see.
So
franchise.
you
God.
you would be
We're
in
selling
your
out, man.
Merchandising.
Welcome to the
Misfit Six, the flamethrower.
I'd like a Misfit Six with extra dip.
You would be essentially your own department of the Noble Commission. You would
Make
have
a play about us.
you would have some employees under you, squires and other people to help your ongoings, but nothing too major unless you deem it, and then I'd have to write off on it. But we could cross that bridge when we come to it.
I should totally have a bard write a song about us.
There will need to be accommodations for Bixby. He is my
it's
number
lame
one
to sing
priority.
your
Of
own.
course. Any mounts
What?
and others.
Say again, Maddie.
Nicole said something about we should have a bard write a song. Yeah, I already have a song about me. What makes you think I can't get a song written about our group?
I didn't say you can't. I just said I won't. You can't sing your own tunes.
Yeah, that's kind of lame. You can't sing your
egotistical.
Own song. That's narcissistic.
Yeah, that's why I don't.
That kind of bard.
Yeah.
I don't write my own.
We're not doing this again.
Is there not that kind of bard, not that kind of cleric?
Is there other matters you wanted to speak to us about?
Yes, but only if you agree.
Blair takes a glance of trying to see where people are because she's so yes.
I just want to have a talk. I just want to talk to you guys about it.
Now I'm in the counter just like
hell yeah.
I think I know where it's going. I just want to have a talk with
you
guys about
okay.
it.
But I mean, that's fine. Regret it.
Merchandising.
Like I said, I do think we are mostly in agreement. That kind of puts you at ease, but I do think we will need to have a brief discussion.
That is absolutely fine. Just again, let me know before the festivities begin. And also, when we were introduced, the name Misfit Six was thrown out. If you'd like to come up with something a little flashier, it may help for branding.
Yes, we have a chance to rename.
But again, just
we keep changing the number. We're not 6 anymore.
And he stands up from his chair, goes and fishes his pipe out of the corner, puts it in his back pocket, and he's like, "We'll be in touch." And he looks up at there's like a little clock on the wall, and he goes, "Oh God, is that the time? I am so late. I will talk to you later." Okay, sorry. And he like goes to like give her a hug, and she like backs up a bit, and he just heads out the door.
Wow, professional.
She's working.
I mean, working all right.
He leaves. The door closes. Okay, Shari lets out a bit of a sigh, and she goes, "So that's the count."
They fucking
again.
Do you say that out loud?
No.
God,
I mean, we're all thinking it.
Very cute, Shari.
Down.
Okay, fine. I will say it out loud because I don't understand social context. Whatever.
So you're like, they're sleeping together.
Basically.
Shari's reaction.
I don't think that's appropriate.
I'm reading the room.
I mean,
I'm learning how to read the room.
Beet red. She is absolutely blushing.
But only part of it.
She goes, let's try to be professional. You have a lot to think about. This is a very big offer that's been put in your lap.
Lyra is definitely giving her that, like, we all know.
What I do in my free time is none of your business.
And what we do in ours is subject to discussion.
A la Evka.
What do you want me to say?
Nothing. It's just interesting to know where we stand.
Yeah, thank you, Maddie. That's fine. I was just gonna ask if the Count took his pipe with him, or if he actually, like...
He just picks it up out of the corner on the floor.
Yeah, he went.
He definitely had to awkwardly cross the room, fumble.
No, he's like crawling on his hands, like pulling it out from under furniture.
Yeah, it's like behind a fern.
Me with my dice earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
My dice.
This is my favorite character.
He's a bro. Okay, I keep laughing because every time he says Cloverlit, Jake does this.
It's every time.
Yeah, because it's Cloverlit.
Shari pipes up
Sucks,
and she
they're
goes,
horrible people.
"So, if I can change the subject and pick your brains, what are you thinking?"
This is
For a name or
I think
name is definitely to be discussed.
the deal is the thing that's on the table.
Deal first, name second.
money.
I'm in favor.
I
love I think raising our status will help with
let's get a
dragon-related matters. Looks at Keshari.
Why don't we get a tally of everyone at the room for this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can't see Maddie.
Can't see Maddie.
Hold on, I will turn on my camera.
Yay!
Yay!
She doesn't raise her hand.
Okay, cool.
So Kirk and Delilah do not raise their
Sounds like
hands.
free money and housing to me.
Lyra kind of quirks her head. May I ask, why not, Delilah?
She has responsibilities.
Well, so do I,
That's
technically.
fair.
So does Azura,
You
technically.
live where you work.
Understanding the fact that, yes, it can raise our status, and yes, it can get us into other conversations, but also can put a target on our back more than we already have.
What more could it
And
do?
also, and just kind of look at you, knowing some stuff about me, I don't know if it's a good idea.
Lyra's not picking up on it, just more confused by the last statement.
I don't like the law. I killed the law.
But you are the law! You're the sheriff, bitch! Two of us are legal figures. Sorry.
He did not. No, let's be very clear about what this position is. At no point did he say we would be law enforcement. He said we would be essentially a private security branch of an economic guild.
We're basically
Task
SWAT.
force,
We're kind of the Count's attack dogs.
No onus on us exactly to uphold the law.
Does the Noble Commission act as law
Don't break the
enforcement?
law.
I mean, they kind of.
They're count enforcement.
That was
No,
underneath
they protect the investments and words
Okay.
escape
They're
me.
corrupt cops.
They essentially, a slight history
just
lesson. The
cops.
Noble Commission didn't used to have a security force at all, but once they got big enough, they actually merged with the Vanguard, and that's Laius Hardan's group of paramilitary, and so they merged together and then to give the economic guild more security. So they in recent time are trying to figure out exactly their place, but no, not technically law enforcement. That is set to the 5 families and their private guards and laws and everything else. The Noble Commission is the Count's company, and the barons are directly under the Count, not the Noble Commission.
That clears that up.
Really, I'm just padding my resume here.
Obviously,
Yeah.
we trust Kishari.
Yes.
Everything we say is subject to the Count's ears, if Kishari is present. It's,
Looks at Kishari.
It's true. It's not a diss. It's true.
I wouldn't say everything, but I have found
How can we trust that?
Bard's Armory.
I have found Preston to be a very trustworthy ally, and he has been a staunch supporter of the council and our endeavors.
I mean, I trust Kishari.
Then, as long as everybody else is fine with her in the room, then that's fine.
I mean, to be frank, she ends up knowing about things anyways,
Sure.
be it context for my own conversations about dragon issues or otherwise.
I understand your apprehension to trust, Mr. Kirk, but I feel like I know a fair amount about all of you and your dealings.
It's just the issue of whether or
Preston,
not the Count is somebody we trust. If the Count is trustworthy, if he does have his sights set on doing good, but as I read our interactions with him, he doesn't seem to care.
Well, I'd say
How so?
Kishari knows him the best.
He's very lackadaisical. He said himself that he is not in any capacity in charge of governing.
No, he is much kinder
And
than
yet
to
he
govern.
somehow stumbled into this position.
Yes, essentially the barons wound up in financial trouble with him, and an arrangement was struck for him
He
to
bought
essentially
his
not to
position.
bankrupt
Bought
them.
his position.
He was a very savvy businessman who made a lot of money, and the governments of this region became indebted to him, and he wound up, by proxy of that, in charge. He never wanted to be. It was not his goal. He never sought power. So he puts individuals who have those skills in positions that they can do some good. He himself is he is not like that. He is now, and I will say at this point, you guys can tell that she is not trying not to say something. She's like, nowadays he's trying to find his place, but that was not his intention. He got here by accident, and now he's trying to figure out how to make the best of it. If I understand you not knowing if you can trust him, but you trust me, I trust him.
I trust her.
And
She trusts her.
Pretty much.
Right.
Well, I don't know.
I feel like I've adopted a bunch of children.
There is
You can follow the line of trust however you want, but that is how business works.
Yes. I
have worries. Go ahead.
I acknowledge your worries. I respect them. In fact, I think it is wise to be a little suspicious of a businessman. As a businesswoman, I can tell you that you can always trust them to make decisions that protect their investments. And I think that we have proven ourselves to be very good security for investments. Or at least we have the great potential to be.
We would also, in a way, become investments, which makes us more secure.
Although when we deem
That make us
ourselves...
more of a target on someone's back.
I don't see how Harden Keshari, having multiple demons and devils behind us, we can become more of a target.
Yes,
Also, we get to live in a stronghold.
We have targets above and below, and on.
Strongholds can be sieged.
Well, yeah, but
It's
it
not even
still
built.
means more security.
Please don't count the chickens before they're hatched. It is not even built.
It took us how long to get a month in? We're not. I don't think we'll be playing this for a decade. It's not out of the question, but
Can we just take it?
I'm hearing a lot about the potential problems of this. This is the best.
No, hands down, this is the best opportunity for this group.
you followed us into much worse situations.
Yes. Yes, I have.
And if there are consequences that we can't foresee or that we do foresee and arise anyway, we'll solve them.
So
If this ends up being a mistake, we'll abandon our privilege and position, but we will take the opportunity in front of you.
I will go along with what the group decides. However, I think when 8 or 9 people, when 10 people are in a room, it's the 10th person's duty to disagree and to look at it from another point of view.
Certainly. So, if it is the case that you're worried that we are to be underneath the Count's thumb...
I'm worried that he may not have... He doesn't have direction. He wants to do good if we believe that.
Then might I...
It will give direction.
I would, if I could just jump in. He does have direction.
Gestures.
You are just not privy to it.
No, we are not privy to it. We're playing with what we know.
Nebulousness. That's unfortunately where we're at.
Oh,
But that's most of what we're dealing with right now. I feel
Honestly,
like this is the most crystal clear option, other than the fact
this
that
is the most information we've had in any of our decisions. This would give us the most bargaining power. This would give us the most anything we've had in any of our ventures.
So to ease your problems that you see, if you are to see that this is a problem and you wish to have us diverge from this path, always we are open, our ears are open. The Count will probably have open ears, but if we diverge from what his direction is, we will fight so that we can get away from it.
Understandable. It's just harder when you are so engrossed and in the public eye.
As a man of the cloth, I'm really not bound to these niceties. I'm bound to oaths and things along those lines.
It wouldn't be the first time I broke niceties when it didn't suit me.
Not the first time that I've left an entire civilization.
Just saying, if you're unsure about him, wouldn't it be better to be closer to him so you could get a better read on him?
Not necessarily.
Well, it's easier to get more information when you're closer to the source.
And I think when Naomi says that and goes, Miss Kishar, I have to ask you a question, and I mean this with all seriousness.
Of course, I think we're being very serious.
If we take this deal and say we find out something that is going on within the walls and within something going on with positions of power and we bring it to light, are we going to face consequences for that?
She like is about.
Not our duty.
She's about to
Are we gonna
answer.
face consequences for that?
You see her like go to answer and then stop for a second. Does a magical sign, her eyes flash, and she looks around the room. I will say that by doing your duty and working with Preston, if you were to uncover something about him, then I would support you in whatever way you see fit. Again, I am not tied to anything in this county. I am tied to an organization called the Council of Scales. And if he turns out to be the mastermind of all the evil, then I will help you take him down myself.
He doesn't have to be the mastermind of all evil. He just has to be a bad person.
You know, it was hyperbole.
Oh, well then.
Yes. Come on, dude.
There are
Get
rolls
with the
for eyes.
program.
Yes,
I-
learn like
No,
do,
I
come
didn't
on.
get it either, but it's
I-
fine.
You just didn't say anything.
Miss Delilah,
Pretty
I...
much.
Fuck you!
90% of the time, that's what it is.
Miss Delilah, I really respect your cynicism and your wariness of government. I share it. But sometimes you do have to get into the belly of the beast to do true good.
She is a sheriff. She knows this.
We did
And
have
I look
to
at her.
Yeah, mushrooms. Oh.
Bad shrooms.
I
Oh, you want that?
I do not wish to sway you one way or another. Again, I find you allies already. But on the conversation of can he be a trustworthy ally, I believe the answer is yes, wholeheartedly.
Lila, you know that we are icons in other people's eyes. We've seen drawings on the streets.
I don't know if that necessarily helps their opinions.
It really does not. But the idea is that we aren't necessarily bound to uphold the law, especially if we are held in a higher...
I suppose that is an interesting perspective, that we have, in a way, taken on a life bigger, or a role bigger than our own actual station. So
What
in
were
a
you saying,
way...
Marty?
I don't have a station.
I see where you're coming
Thought
from,
she
too,
froze.
but you're already talking to someone who already had that status.
Oh, this is not bigger? A different place? A
It
different...
is.
It's not about scale.
It's not
It is
necessarily
bigger.
about that
is.
either,
That
but
one
it's
it
not
is.
just you.
I'm sorry.
This is your friends as well. We are with you, we stand with you, and you are a team. And you are not solely responsible for the actions that you've gone through. We are all come through this as a team. We fight with, and rather, against a plane.
All right. I think final statements from Kirk and Delilah, and perhaps one member is allowed to say one final statement on behalf of the Yays.
I'll
And
shut up.
allow-
I talked way too much.
Allow me to do...
I'll do fine.
Again, this is a private matter. I have to go set up. I will leave you to your thoughts. I think that's a good idea. We will talk later.
Yes.
I promise. And she takes her leave as well. You are alone in the council chamber. What is your decisions?
Final
Or
statements
closing
from the
arguments.
Nays. Because this will continue forever if we don't.
No,
I'll
of
shut
course. Of course. I only have maybe one or two other worries about this. We've already voiced the understanding of trusting the Count. It's a leap of faith for most of this. We have reason to trust him through people we know. It is on the surface, a de facto beneficial position to be in as a group. Being part of the public eye means we are all known. No more, we to a point, from what you have told me before we met, the group has acted with a certain level of anonymity or freedom. If we were to agree to this, some of that may be rescinded. Understandable. Something to keep in mind. Another thing, the idea of being painted a larger target on our back, we don't really know anything about the Defiant. We can't operate under we can't operate as a group, even with Cape Man and Suck Man. We can't operate with what we don't know. We have to do what we do know. If these groups are in league together, as it seems most of our adversaries had been, then all is fine. However, if it's a miscommunication, if it's a misunderstanding, if it turns out that someone we allied with puts us out in the public eye, and then the tables get turned, the positions of power change, we find ourselves in an incredibly vulnerable situation. Well, we're with him, we're with the Count, we're the heroes. Why aren't you acting heroically? I don't want to be a hero. I want to go home eventually. I don't want to be a hero. And nothing I have ever done has ever made me want to be. I will go with what the group says. I just want us to be incredibly cautious.
Yes.
And that's it.
I think, and she pauses for a moment to kind of let the air kind of sit. I think in terms of the bigger target, the kind of responsibility sense, because the 2 points kind of combine at that junction. From the moment that we've seen...
I'm sorry. It's not a bigger target. It's just more... people shooting at us.
Yeah,
That's what it is. It's just more people to fucking shoot me.
I think we've lost that aspect of anonymity since they've started creating art about us in the streets, and we've become beacons of light in parts of the districts. I
veto Lightbringer.
I'm not quite a fan of it either, personally, but I think in terms of potential power dynamics shifting and becoming heroes, this group has been very nebulous from the beginning. We have gained and lost members a few times. I don't think anyone will be beholden to his decision they make now, should that change in a week's time even. And I don't think anyone here would hold any animosity in the same way that if, I know you're not familiar with them, but if Garrick or Ardosh were to walk through those doors, they would be welcome back if they so chose. And the same goes if you decided to go home and one day decided to come back, should the group still be a thing, I suppose. It's always been a sort of come as you wish, stay as long as you like.
Come as you will. Live as you will.
We at one point joined as an adventuring party for more, well, romantic situations, to be honest. But she kind of laughs originally because it's funny, and then because it's awkward.
Oh. Yeah, it's been a year.
It's been a year.
Since what?
Since Talad got married.
Oh shit, it's been that long? How long have we been here?
Well,
in real life.
In real life, it's been a year.
In game,
Okay,
it's been
I was
2
like,
weeks.
I thought we've only been here for like a week, guys.
We're still month 1 in game. That's why
2.5
I said
weeks, I think.
the castle will be built in 6 months, and it's taken us a year and a half to get a month in. So it'll take us
It's 'cause
5
we debate for
years.
4 hours.
Because every decision has to take an episode. So
I have to use this, true.
Go for it.
Yes.
Did Delilah have closing remarks?
Essentially, it's she kind of sits for a minute after Kirk talks, and as kind of the eyes start to turn on her to see what she has to say about it, she just takes a moment to look around at everyone and kind of lingers on Aska for a moment, knowing that we started all this and we screwed her over royally. Look, the reason why I say the things I do is just because I'm worried and I have people that I need to protect. and I'm worried. The sentiments I said are what I said, and I agree with some things that Kirk has said, and I will go along with the decision of the group, knowing that it is probably going to be for the best. Just understand that I have people I have to protect, and I will do anything to protect them. But know that I only want to do this to know that at the end of the day, we can walk away from this and everything will be done.
And
Unlike Kirk, I am a hero. I'm a home hero. And I did the things I did for the good of the people, and I want to continue to do that. And if that changes, I can't look at myself the same.
I feel very similar, if I may.
I feel like personally the reason I'm so inclined is not only for the self-interest of it. Being in a higher position means that should this dragon thing or any other thing that we're doing go south, we're just simply in a better position to protect ourselves. But also, I'll be honest, I didn't have a ton of interest in politics and all that. That's kind of why I left. Not just the boy, but wasn't super intrigued in day-to-day niceties. I've been thrilled with the ability to bring well-being and kind of joy, I suppose, to members of this realm that I would have never even met, sections of this area that I never would have seen without this group. I think this position has been greatly eye-opening for me, and I really have appreciated this sort of duty far better than sitting in meetings all day ever would have given me. I think this is, in my opinion, I don't know if you feel the same way, Tuad, this has been the best way for me to help others. I don't think I ever could have helped anyone as much sitting in this castle, being someone's wife.
It's a broadening of scope. I would say that even while I was with my family and my friends trying to fight monsters in the dark, we never got in depth. We never attached to any towns or anything along those lines. Built this repertoire so that we could extinguish something. It's true finality, bring it to its absolute demise so that other people can prosper. So that even those that aren't your ilk, just as we have in Swineborn.
So it sounds like you guys may have reached a decision then.
I think so.
Yeah.
I was just gonna, I was just gonna be like,
very long-winded, don't mind me.
again, like with Kirk, if you ever decided that the interests of the group didn't seem to suit your personal mission, we'd always be open to recentering, or if you chose to go your own way, you'd always be welcome for as long as some semblance of group exists. And I think that stands for everyone, should anything change. Whether it's a mission to hell, or off to the frozen forest, or wherever it may go.
We'll fight for all of your well-being.
Gestures at me, wherever.
Kind of both of you.
Whatever the fuck that is.
We've been there and here. That's kind of it.
Swineborn.
We're like this close.
You guys fucked around in almost all of Nefasto.
I think
but that's
Asko
about
would
it.
hate the frozen forest.
True.
I can make it work.
I mean, is she bothered by cold?
Cold never bothered
She does
me
not like
anyway.
cold.
She can't stand being near Azura.
Wait, are you cold?
Yeah.
Oh, she's cold to the touch and she's
Yeah.
hot to the touch, so they can't.
How do you have so many partners? Doesn't that make it hard? Well, actually,
Yeah,
it
it
would be
does.
the opposite of that, actually.
Well, typically, I don't know.
Ice
Wait, you never
clay.
fucked an ice pack?
All I can think of is The Office and Andy.
Alright.
With that, have we made a decision?
Naomi's stance on this is it's basically free money, housing, and status. Why not?
Right after making poverty
Best thing that's ever
jokes,
happened
she's
to
hyped.
Naomi.
She's hyped.
I'll say, as you guys are reaching your decision and kind of getting to that point where you're just like all like we're doing
But,
this.
you know, conversation went well.
You hear bells start to ring. And you know that is kind of the, hey, the ballroom's ready. And the festivities are not kicking off, but they're like, hey, anyone who wants to file in and start mingling, you can do that.
What time is it?
At this point, it's about
Ball o'clock.
midday. Ball o'clock.
We should inform Kishari about our decision.
Do we know where she is, or should we shoot off ascending? What would be the most
she
convenient,
said
timely
that she was
manner?
going to go set up the ball, so she's
She's at the party.
She's definitely at the party.
Get ready and then go and let
We should-
Kishari know.
We should probably get ready and let Kishari know, and if they're going to, if the Count really is going to introduce us as heroes, maybe we should come up with a name as we walk. So everybody,
We're gonna set
Would
up
we want to do
another-
an intermission and then we can have a real life conversation so that we're not like.
Sure.
We can set up we're just gonna set up another board like Delilah had, but it's just name options
For
this time.
canon, we have a murder board of just name options. Woo!
All right.
And we still haven't decided on shit.
Nope. As you guys finish up at the conference table, and you go back to the tower to
There's
get ready,
so many
I
crumpled up
imagine.
pieces of parchment.
Yeah. You guys are still working on the name, but does anybody either send Keshari or the Count, or are you waiting to do that?
Were we gonna just tell her when we got there? So I'm trying to remember what outfit day 2 was.
Do you do sending?
I'll do sending, because I do have sending.
To who?
To Keshari.
Okay.
I'll give her the fact that we've decided to join, and that we are just to be the heroes of Nefasto for now.
Okay.
A name will be determined later.
She goes, excellent. I'll let Preston know. Thank you.
we're all on a first name basis.
That we all.
As you guys get ready and head down to the ball, at this point it's midday. You are seeing people file in, and there's a lot of conversations that seem to halt once your group makes their entrance, and there's a lot of eyes, and then you see this one group off to one side, and they are not wearing really ball clothing at all. They kind of stand out in comparison to all the other nobles. They look more like security. They are decked out in weapons and everything else, and you see one of them who is a very tall 6'4", white feathered Aarakocra, and he sees you guys walk in, and he nudges this elven girl next to him, and he like nods and smiles, and then takes a step forward into the middle of the room and just starts clapping. And you see a few other members of the group like start clapping as well, and immediately the room just kind of takes, like, they're already staring at you, and so they just like sheep follow in line, and the entire room starts clapping for you as you enter it.
I assume we're arranged in a delta, sort of, as we're kind of coming in the room.
Sure.
A what?
A delta, meaning like
Is that a triangle?
That's not a triangle because it doesn't have a back. We don't have a back row of people.
You're in a flying V.
Yeah. So I assume that Lyra is in the front.
Presumably.
I'm gonna touch your back and just light. So now you have beam daylight in the back.
Lyra suddenly understands why Aska reacted the way she did when she was the beacon of light. Because even though she's kind of used to the figurative spotlight, this is a bit much.
No, you are the light now. Welcome.
And you
No light. I didn't use daylight. I used light.
God.
It's only
I'm
a
not
10-foot
that
radius.
Everybody's-
But as you enter the middle of the room and are actually shining and glowing,
Oh, and I've got golden scales. It's just
Yeah, that's
reflecting
why I was
fucking
like,
everywhere.
Yep, like a disco ball.
God damn it.
Golden disco ball.
You are all very noticeable and very
This
apparent.
glowing.
More.
And after the clapping kind of gets a bit awkward, the Aarakocra like started it and then fucked off, and all the other nobles are like, okay, back to drinking, and you guys are in the middle of the room. Very, very noticeable now. And as the nobility starts to kind of pull away from you, you see some people like drinking and like waiting their turn. Like, I kind of want to go talk to them. You do see a figure immediately approach your group. He's short. You saw him the night before. He is wearing a nice blue suit. He's got copper skin. He is a gnome, and he's got blonde hair kind of pulled up. And he walks up to Azura. This is Tahir Kellen, the consul of Aldwick that you danced with the night before. Mm-hmm. And he comes straight up to you and he goes, You and your friends were so amazing. I actually, from a safe distance, watched everything happen last night. You're quite spectacular, if I can say.
I mean, well, means you can. Thank you very much.
Could I steal you away? Could I get you a drink?
Sure. Just so I remember, was it Delilah that like this was an important person to?
No, that was
jeez.
that was Baron the Bard,
Yeah,
who
that's a-
you do not see at the moment.
Okay, I remember. For some reason, I remember
Different short person.
Somebody like in our group that was an important person
I
I was talking
don't
to.
think so.
Learn how to think
No,
less.
he's essentially one of the co-leaders of the town that Axiom is in right now.
That's what it was.
That's the connection.
But yeah, of course.
Excellent. And he like puts out his arm and then yeah.
Just as Azura is like beginning to move away, I will reach out and grab her and just say, "Please stay within sight of the group."
I'm gonna
drinks.
I'm gonna nudge Ascot. She's fine.
I can handle myself.
And he
That's
walks.
not my concern.
I killed that bitch.
Have a good drink.
Groups of two.
She's
Got
already
roofied?
danced with this guy.
And Tahir just goes, I know words mean nothing, but I hope in time that you can grow to trust me.
Oh no,
it
Blair's
seems,
suspicious.
it seems like you guys have a lot going on, and
Sussy.
I do a short bow and say, "Good sir, please do not be offended. This has nothing to do with you. It's everything I don't trust."
that is completely normal.
It's not personal.
Especially
I
in
trust
these trying times. I mean, let me shut up. And he like takes a step and begins to levitate up just a little bit to get on your level, and he offers his arm to you.
For you an egg in these trials.
And you watch the two of them go off within sight to one of the side bars and start drinking.
I definitely lightly bicker with Ascot. Like, it's cute. Come on, while I'm trying to find Keshari.
I will
Let her
join
have
you
her
in
fun.
that. We just want to be able to get to everyone in a few seconds if we need to.
I will add Azura's wearing her fire dress for this evening.
Oh, yeah.
10-foot long train, you know,
only have one dress.
matching heels that are like red and
Just
like orange and a whole ombre.
Wow.
The same other details as before with the same jewelry, but I did change
well,
dresses.
on that note, Tahir goes, I hope it's not rude to say, but you look stunning. You look amazing.
Thank you very much. I tried.
Well, I
Okay, Nicole.
and he begins
for
to
those
make small
compliments.
talk, obviously flirting with you, but kind of a different change of pace from other guys that you talk to. Like he's definitely flirting with you and putting on the moves, but nothing like overt. No, he's not like trying to make excuses to touch you. He's very respectful.
So there's like, you not trying to fuck?
spilling.
I didn't say
Love
that.
it.
But he does buy you some drinks and has a nice
Just a
conversation.
roofie.
Are you keeping an eye out?
Not in the beginning of the night. Coffee or drink.
As they are off having their conversation, and the others are in the middle of the room, is there anything in particular that you guys are looking out for?
Keishari.
Keishari. After a few minutes, Keishari does come and find you guys and goes, I heard the news. I am excited for you in this new endeavor. I've let the Count know, and he told me to that he wanted to speak with you before he makes the announcement. It's going to probably be happening in a few hours, so have some fun. The night is yours, and you have earned a day of relaxation. So don't go looking for trouble, please, for me. Enjoy yourselves. Relax.
I spend the night looking for trouble.
Of course, I expected nothing less.
Anything in particular, Asuka?
Just like
Trouble.
no, just watching everything.
I'm
being
looking for
like,
Vern, man. I'm looking for Vern.
Asuka
Perception
starts
check,
a bar
perception
fight
check.
at the ball. Wouldn't be the
Keishari.
first ball she ruined.
Keishari takes you by like the
Don't
elbow.
ruin balls.
I'm gonna look
Keishari
for-
takes you by the elbow.
I'm gonna look for my person too.
Perception check. Takes you by the elbow and just
My
goes,
person's
"Let's
not here."
have a conversation."
Yes.
And pulls you aside. She pulls you over to one of the. There's like unseen servants with platters of like champagne
That's
walking
actually
around, and
10.
she grabs two off of them, hands one to you.
Am I still glowing? How long does this last?
That's a
I
good question.
feel like it's a little while.
Is it 10 minutes or like an hour? Because I feel like 10 minutes could have passed, but an hour would not.
1 hour.
Fuck!
Me this time.
It can wait.
Oh, I can
It
reach
just
that.
stopped.
Is it concentration?
At some point, I would have leaned in and probably with Talad and Lyra both, and been like, "If you'd like something a little more subtle, I can do a thing that would last for longer and is not quite as right."
If this one will last an hour, so I can't stop it either. So
Is it?
You can. It is concentration. You can drop concentration on it anytime you want.
light is not.
I think
a
light, you just
concentration
cast it and
cantrip.
it happens
It's
for an
just a
hour.
thing that
I'm
happens
pretty
for an
sure.
hour.
You can't drop it.
Please.
Hold on, what did
not
he
drop
do?
it.
He cast light on me, so I'm glowing, but he can't do anything about
You
it.
touch one object that is no larger than 10 feet in any dimension. You are not 10 feet in any dimension.
Thank God.
Until
Yeah.
the spell ends, the
Well,
object
maybe in other
sheds bright light in
dimensions.
a 20-foot radius and dim light in an additional 20 feet. The light can be colored as
Oh
you
my
like.
God.
It's white.
I would
Yeah,
say
you're
say
a disco ball.
you could turn it
Because
off
I've got
if
like
you so
glittering
wish.
scales.
But that's up to you.
All
That
that
is completely
stuff
up to
is the spell. It's the
Tulad.
topic. That's the spell.
Would Tulad is the question, because Lyra is too polite to ask you not to.
So
Because
if
part
you
of
don't
her,
ask, he's not gonna.
part of her likes
Alright.
the attention, but part of her is like, I'm trying to have a private conversation, and she would not ask.
He assumes he's helping.
All right,
it lasts.
I
it
wanna
lasts.
glow.
She pulls you aside and goes, hands
No,
you the
Naomi's gonna
champagne.
be
She
like
goes,
me.
"You are absolutely
You want
glowing."
I want glow.
Yes,
Bam.
it does
I glow
appear
too.
so.
Jesus.
Okay,
All right, you're
Lyra
both
is
glowing.
much more comfortable with it now that there's two of us glowing. It's a little bit unnerving when you're the only one.
It's like
If it makes you feel
Very
any better,
fire.
I'm acting like an idiot too.
She's gonna like raise her glass in your direction and
I'm
chuckle.
just like-
yeah, there's a lot of nobles
I
clearly
love it.
watching the tiefling off to the side.
Sweet attention on
But
me.
she pulls you aside. What did you wish to speak about?
So this is sort of a scale
Yes.
matter. I'm sure you assumed.
Obviously, you're wearing them tonight.
Well, I figured since I made my
It's
presentation.
all out in the open. Yeah.
So, as I've sort of informed you before, that during my meditations, we'd sort of made a connection. Something changed last night where
Something has changed within me.
something is not the same. Since we made that connection, he kind of communicated with me on
The
more than
bond.
an instinct level. Yes, he directly asked me some questions, and I got to ask him some. Essentially, just trying to explain to him that his experiences, as tragic as they were kind of not meant to happen and sort of have a bit more understanding between the two of us. I feel like we're really starting to understand each other, at least I hope so. And I basically thought if I can tap into his consciousness, I wondered if the opposite could be true to help him gain some perspective, as he seemed quite jaded about the way that he was treated by his captors. So we successfully made contact the other way, with him perceiving through my perspective, my eyes. I'm not 100% sure for how long it lasted, but I'm fairly certain it worked for a period of time, at least.
So
which is new.
It is... The bond is something that is a bit mysterious at first, but with practice it becomes a reflex like any other. You did not have to ask permission to enter his, and now that you have made the bond the other way, he does not have to ask permission either. Now, it is something that you will be able to pick up on the more times it happens and the more practice, but you have essentially initiated the bond going both ways.
Assumed consent.
You have opened the door, and now you are linked permanently.
Why? I don't know why, but the Cards Against Humanity card pooping back and forth forever popped into my head.
You opened the door and I was like, the back door?
It's just like,
Stop.
no.
Anyways. That was Nicole, not Lyra.
But yes, that is the most basic of the advantages.
Okay. Does this seem to be, I know before we'd had the discussion that this seems to be gestures at the everything, progressing quicker than usual. Is this more of a regular timeline, or is this also stuck to my advanced schedule, it seems?
This is advanced, but part of me believes that it's more so making up for lost time.
Okay.
As the dam has broke, it seems. And all the things that should have been building up gradually are building up quickly.
I know when we made the connection and he was asking questions, along with kind of asking why he was being attacked and treated the way he was, he did seem quite curious in a genuine way, at least how I perceived. So I know that amongst my own group there has been concerns about, I guess, his allegiance whenever he does end up arriving, as he seems to be getting closer towards us.
I feel like those are valid concerns. He, in a normal world, would have grown up with you.
Yes.
But
I feel quite positive based on the progress we've already made. I guess I just kind of wanted an outside perspective, if not agreeance.
well, I can't offer you any words more than hope. It seems it's very good that your bond has not soured and seems to be progressing in a positive light. I hope it continues that way.
Me too. Have you made contact with any of your other representatives? I know we aimed to have a discussion with them before the reveal, which of course is futile now.
I briefly did. It seems that at least my most trusted friend on the council, he seems to be very busy with some problems up north, and frankly doesn't have time. But that is why I am here. I will help you through whatever we can together.
And I appreciate your guidance so much. I guess I don't want to be an issue for whatever your causes may be, and the group that I'm somehow sort of a part of.
Well, let's just wait and see, I think. Excuse me.
She kind of raises her glass and
takes her leave. Talad, what was your perception check? 15. You scan around. You too? Well, okay, first, since you rolled the same thing.
Modifier.
Aska, you take a look around the room, and you don't see any trouble per se, but you do make eye contact with a waiter, and he keeps eye contact for a second before, breaking into a smile, giving you a wink, and then turning around and fucking off somewhere else. Talad, you take a look around, and you don't see Vern. anywhere. You see a few different people looking at you, and you see this one guy, like, actually staring at you before he makes his way over to you after, like, again, you can't really tell where you're looking, but he thinks that, like, you're making eye contact too, and heads over.
You gotta deal with the lava lamp eyeballs.
Yeah, you see this very, very old human man with just short white hair, kind of balding in some areas, some like sunspots on his face, in a nice brown blazer with kind of patches on it. He walks up, and once he gets closer to you, you notice he does have a necklace on with all sorts of different like cosmic symbols. Like, he has some lunar symbols, some stars, a sun, and he walks up, and he's just like, "Excuse me, sir. There's been some rumblings, and I hope this isn't rude, but you do stand out. I wanted to know, are you the one they call the Moon Man?"
I was told this as, unfortunately, a pseudonym, but yes.
Oh, a pseudonym. So, I'm sorry. So you are not a expert on the moon, perhaps?
I would say I am, actually.
Oh, excellent. Sorry. Let me make my announcements. I am Professor Nomenclature. I am actually the head dean of the College of Astronomy. Oh, stop it. Not the same guy.
Okay. Good.
Not the same. A different old professor guy. He actually does name drop that he's from the Corinthial College, so different ward.
Okay, cool.
Different nomenclature, perhaps.
Yeah. He goes, if you are such an expert on the moon, I actually had some questions. You see, as head dean, I spend a lot of time staring at the cosmic bodies, and I was wondering if you perhaps could enlighten me on why the moon has been losing lumosity.
It's been losing its luster.
It is the moon is getting darker.
The dark side of the moon, perhaps.
Do you ever? I believe they're called eyes of far-seeing, spy glasses, telescopes.
Telescope, yes.
Could I take a look through yours if you have one?
Well, I don't have a telescope on me. They're kind of built into the ground. But I do have a spyglass. Would you like to? We may be able to see. Just come with me. And he waddles out to one of the balconies, and you do see that it's partially cloudy, and it's not a full moon. But there is a bit of the moon there, and he pulls out his spyglass, and he looks up at it, and he goes, yes, he hands it to you, and he goes, yes, it is at least 15% darker than it has been over the past month. In just the last week alone, it has lost this darkness.
And cloud cover's not been a factor in this.
No. On it, if the sky could be a little clearer, that would be helpful. But the other night it was a full moon, and I watched it dip at least 2% just with my own eyes as I was staring at it.
I assume he's right.
Milk.
How much do you actually look at the moon?
A lot?
Just make a perception check, I guess.
While he's doing that, two
He
thoughts.
doesn't look at the moon.
One, is that a spyglass in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? And two, I would like the mental canon that every time we use Moonbeam, we drain the moon of its light. So we are the cause of our own problem.
Only 15% dimmer?
It's a lot of moonbeams.
That's a lot of moon.
I mean,
An entire moon. You gotta think about
It is pretty big.
17.
You said 2%.
17?
My immediate thought was milk.
As you're looking at it,
And I'm
yeah.
like, milk.
Yeah, you think you might be right. It's not a lot. It's hard to tell, but you look at the moon a lot, and you're like, it's definitely not hitting the old eyeballs quite the same.
My eyeballs aren't quite the same, but
Yeah,
you are right.
you haven't noticed this.
Now I have, thank you.
Oh.
You paid much closer attention than I have, but I've been dealing with other things as of late.
Wow.
So you're an astronomer, you say. You mapped the the goings on of the cosmos, yes?
Well, yes, I try to map them as best I can. Yes.
Excellent. Your readings are accurate.
I pride myself on being it. I wouldn't have my job if I wasn't.
Do you care as to why?
Excuse me?
Do you care as to why? Meaning, do you...
It is the most peculiar thing. I don't have an explanation, and people call you the Moon Man. You say you're an expert. I'm just trying to find some other opinions on why it might be getting darker. It's almost like it has given up.
I have a theory, and yours is very close.
Do elaborate.
It's really all I have. I feel that the moon has lost its...
Luster?
Yes, and its potency, and its backing of it. It is a celestial body, but that which inhabits it and gives it its power has diminished somewhat. As to why that is, I've been trying to find out.
These are literally dark times.
In the night, the shadows grow larger.
Ever so large.
Your name again, sir?
Me? Nomenclature.
It's good to meet you, sir. I am Lord Gloom.
Gloom. Ha! That's funny.
It is. It's really fitting, fortunately, as of late. I hail from Arcanhaven. We follow Celestian, and I'm going to go ahead and give him a spiel, but not details. Just like, that's where I come from.
Just the cliff notes.
Yeah, the cliff notes. And here's how I got here.
So your whole family is experts on the moon, then?
They were,
Ah.
some of them have passed as of late. My father, I would say, one brother.
I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
I still hear from him every so often.
Oh.
Not
Well.
wails from the grave. But
I was very confused for a second. That was very strange. I didn't know what you mean.
I would say he's passed from one life to another, and he doesn't communicate in the same manner as we used to.
Were you close?
Not as much as I wished.
Ah.
It is good to talk to you.
Ah.
I appreciate your observation. I would like to perhaps visit your college and view these viewings rather.
Oh well. I mean, we could take a walk right now if you wanted to. You can visit it right now.
I have obligations to the party.
Well, I mean, so do I guess technically we're both here. Another time, perhaps.
I agree. In the daytime. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see anything, but I'd like to look at your charts. Not so much your... although I'd like to, perhaps a telescope would be the best to look at in the daytime.
It's a fine piece of equipment.
If you look at the sun at the daytime, though, through many lenses, I understand that might cause problems?
I actually had a buddy of mine. He ended up in some bad sorts doing that. Wouldn't recommend.
I agree. So there you go. I'd like to look at your charts, not your telescope through its lens, rather. I'd like to see the telescope, but not look through it. But in the daytime, yes.
Well,
as of in the nights for the next couple of days, I do have obligations. I do thank you.
The nights? You have obligations in the... You work night shifts.
Somewhat.
Oh.
The ball is taking place in the evening, yes?
Well, yes, I didn't know. I mean, I thought it was just tonight, and then they would leave in the morning. I thought tonight was the last night.
Stars, is it already the third day?
Oh, yes! Well, that's second, technically, but, anyways. So you don't know why it's... Well, not entirely why it's getting darker, other than the moon has given up. It's always good to hear.
feel
I mean,
like
it's
you
not
all-
good to hear.
There are,
Not good to hear the moon has given up.
There are theories.
Me too.
Moon said no.
There
Me
are
too.
theistic beliefs that I hold that I don't know if necessarily adhere to observations.
You know, gods and their theologies. Honestly, if you look at the stars enough, it all becomes, how do you say, quack. A bunch of hoofooky, you know. Yeah, just a bunch of nonsense. I prefer to stay grounded in the nighttime sky.
That's why I don't trouble you with it.
Yeah.
Those are my theories somewhat, but I do appreciate your observations.
Yes.
I'll be going back to my friends.
Oh, okay. Yep. I'll stay out here looking at the moon.
Goodbye, old man.
I love the moon.
Wow, that
Nice
guy's
firm
fucking
handshake.
weird.
Oh, and he gives you a nice firm handshake back. It's really firm.
Does he hold on too long
Well,
too?
bench strength, yeah.
A little bit. Just he kind of holds on, but it's old man, and then he's oh sorry,
I
and
love
let's
socially inept old men.
Perfectly fine.
go. He gives you a clap on the back, but it's also kind of too strong. The guy's just like has no context of like social strength.
No, yeah, it's really fun when you're a waitress and they decide to give you a hug.
Yeah.
Oh, that's this guy for sure.
Yeah.
I'm
for
gonna
sure.
go away and like start as I walk away. I'm gonna start
would like
casting
to
detect good and evil as I move through.
Okay.
Mostly, obviously.
Interesting
focusing towards
choice.
Sorry, remind me what that does, please.
You're good.
It
Every
detects
single
good
time.
and evil.
people. Yeah.
Well,
for the duration.
It doesn't though. It actually doesn't.
So up to 10 minutes, it's concentration for the duration. You know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within
Jesus,
30
that's a lot.
feet of you.
See, that's why I don't remember. That's good and evil. Yeah, sure.
See yourself.
Within how much within you?
30 feet.
When
30
my
feet.
reflection
Yeah.
show
Okay, so
who I am.
you
This
cast.
is where they're located, and you know if there is a place or object within 30 feet of me that has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
Oh,
Yeah, the
That's
spell
helpful,
can
too.
penetrate most barriers, blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, or a thin sheet of lead.
okay. So you
Or 3
cast
feet of
it.
dirt and wood.
You cast it as you leave. You open the door and kind of cast it as you're beginning to walk into the room. And as soon as you cast it, you get a ping behind you.
What is it? What flavor?
Pie
Undead.
flavor.
Undead.
Ah, it's your brother.
Oh.
Family
You
reunion.
lied to me. You aren't a scholar, really, are you? Oh.
Do you turn at all?
I do.
As you turn, you see the old man looking up at the moon. Goes, the moon has given up. Turns into a bat.
Bitch.
You got bamboozled.
Fangy boys at it again.
Walks away.
Which one?
There are many.
That's why I said boys
Vern.
plural.
It's Vern.
As
Vern
soon as
likes
he says
fucking
it,
with me.
She did say
it's,
plural.
It's Vern's
It's
voice.
Vern's fucking with me.
As you kind of
Tula distraughtly comes to the bar and requests shot.
Just ask for a whole bottle.
You request shot, and the bartender comes up and goes, "All right, here you go." And gives you a shot, and you look up, undead.
Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me. Throwing it back. Do they have recognition in their eyes, or is it just, you know?
He's just working. He gives you a shot. Someone else motions for one. He goes, gives them a shot as well.
Who's nearby?
Someone walks by with a platter, undead.
I assume.
Aw, man,
Fuck.
the whole venue.
So I assume that the group probably congregated near the bar, because that's what we usually
There's
do.
multiple bars, but you guys were
Okay.
kind of like in the
Are they
middle.
within 100 feet of me, all of them?
All of them?
Or excuse me, 130 now?
Sure.
Probably.
13th level.
Telepathic nonsense.
Oh, it was like 10 times.
That's one of my
Brain
hairs
pull
on your
magic.
elbow, I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay.
The brain
As you
time.
are sitting there getting your drink, they are all there.
Guess who's
You guys hear a fanfare of trumpets.
Can we have one nice night?
Yeah, no. That was the only fanfare I could ever think of.
Fix it in post.
22 on my perception.
So I'm so sorry.
Oh fuck, we have so many things going.
Yeah.
Too many pans on the stove. To be honest.
Little before the trumpets, a little bit before the trumpets, you take a look around and you see sitting at a bar talking to another elf. You do see Lucius Kybella. Just kind of chilling, talking with a figure that you have seen him talking to a few times. You know this guy to be Orandon. And you see them both talking at a bar together.
Okay. I'm not gonna go over there. Naomi's just like out there dancing, wondering why nobody wants to dance with her.
Just fucking vibing. All right.
She's like aggressively doing the stanky leg.
Aggressive stanky leg.
With a deep breast slit, just like, yeah, this is my work leg, and it is stanky.
Sweaty, stanky leg. That's a choice.
Fucking danky leg.
Danky leg.
The trumpets sound and everyone turns, and you do see probably about 10 or so Noble Commission guards, but they're not like really guard get up. They're more like ceremonial. Most of them are carrying banners and are wearing long, almost dress-like tunics. And they walk into the middle of the space and then like lower their flags a bit. And you see dressed not in his bro attire, but in purples, greens, and golds, with a fur-capped shouldered cape. That does kind of run into a bit of a train. Only like 3 feet though, not like Azura's. You do see Preston walk in. And he like walks through the banners, and as he does, he's like tapping the guards, like telling them to stop. To like raise their banners up. And
like
some people are clapping, and he's like going up to some nobles and like shaking hands and stuff. And he's waving, and he does walk up to the thrones that they have up, and he walks up there and he quiets everyone down, and he's like, I know last night was a bit of a surprise for everyone. So I'm sorry about the added security, but I felt it was important to keep everyone safe. And as well, I wanted to make myself known, I guess. Tonight, I party with all of you. And he like motions for a glass, and he holds up a glass of champagne, and he's like, a toast to everyone. To all of us, to all of our health and good tidings.
Detect poison and disease.
Stop.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna yell out, stop.
Blair had a
and
cup
he's,
half raised.
he does stop.
Detect poison and disease.
You do not pick up anything. And he's just like,
Blair's looking at you all like you're insane.
and he makes eye contact. Just like, is everything okay?
Brain contact.
Just a joke, people. Go back to your drinks. In fact, I have some friends to talk to, and we will actually be making some announcements here shortly. But please be merry, drink. And he puts it down.
You notice Blair's still
And he,
staring
like,
at
he
you, and
looks
her
at you,
hand
and
is
he's
like
like,
quivering
"Get
a
over
little.
Dude, fucking same. Shot
Well, no,
glass.
you're quivering because of that. I'm quivering because break of decorum. Just like,
But he's like, get everyone over here.
Yeah.
He comes down off the throne a bit and like goes to the side.
Wait a minute.
As you,
immediately
I'm sorry.
approaching apologetically.
I have poison on my person.
Yeah, I'll catch that.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
She's like coated in poison in her
I'm just gonna,
jewelry.
like, five
just
spots
assume
on my
the things
body.
with you guys is fine. You guys walk over and he's like, what?
You picked up a drink and you had no idea
What
where
are
it
you
came
doing?
It's my party. What do you mean?
From. Your party.
Well, I mean, I paid
I'm
for
so
it.
sorry for this.
It's fine. It's not.
intrusion.
He's doing. You're doing your job.
it's
Keishari
low but
told me.
squeaky 'cause
I
she's
am
exasperated.
thrilled. I really can't. I know you guys are still
Is
working
this what
on
you
them.
mean by
right?
extra security? You just
Fuming.
gallivant around doing whatever you want. Because you're the count.
I'm
Well,
so
I mean,
sorry.
yes. I mean, I have eyes. We have eyes everywhere.
My problem.
So do they.
Desperately trying to
who's
raise
that?
this wheel.
Hey, your white staff.
The royal
My,
thing.
my
What?
wait
Your
staff.
white staff. Hold.
What is wrong with the wait staff?
As a waiter passes by.
Behind the bar.
I will say if it's still within 10 minutes, as this we'll say it's at the end of your
Light's
10
still up.
minutes. A waiter does walk by and you catch the undead before the spell drops, and he's just working.
What is wrong with you?
A lot of things, obviously. But, in this case, it's right.
Naomi's just like, what's going
What do you say,
on?
Chris?
I'm saying what? Because he's.
We're goading
hinting.
you.
I
Explain.
know, I'm
What's
trying.
happening? He hasn't said what is happening.
I'm getting
Yeah.
to it now. So,
Blair's gonna kick you.
the wait staff is. They're undead. They are undead.
Divine sense.
All of them?
How
don't
far
know.
does divine sense go out?
60 feet.
Fucking sick. Better
60
than mine.
feet.
Naomi's just like,
Yeah.
wow, that's whack.
Are you still dancing in the
60
small
feet.
group?
I am in the group, but I am still dancing, yes.
she's
And
like-
I think I'm still glowing.
I had seen.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
you were after
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, Aska, there's like 2 or 3 guys at a time that kind of pass in and out of your sense, and yeah, undead.
There are a lot of undead.
So if I were to guess, just like based on their distribution within my radius, and then the size of the room, about how many would there be in the room, like extrapolated?
You, well, just looking around, there's like 30-ish staff working this party.
That's a lot.
Wait, they're all in there?
All the ones that have passed
information
within
that
your
I have
range.
is enough
That's a
to
lot.
assume that any staff I see is likely to be undead.
As you keep the radius up, every staff member that walks in, anyone wearing a white tuxedo essentially that's working the party, triggers as undead.
That's the same experience.
Where
I
are our
had.
boys?
And
Boys.
The fucking bartender boys.
What are you talking?
the bartender.
The
Oh, right.
I don't know their names. I wasn't here for this
yeah.
part.
Wade?
Wade and
You
the other one.
haven't seen him yet.
Sad,
Um,
but understandable.
Is Azura still dancing, or did she get called over?
Well, we
I
called you
imagine
over.
that
Did
she
you
would have called
come?
you
Got
over.
called
So that's up to you.
Yeah, she went over.
Did you want to roleplay leaving
Yeah.
the dance? Okay.
Yeah, to hear. Oh, that's fine. We'll catch up later. Go to your friends. Go to your friends. And the count is just like moving on. He was just like, oh well, did you said undead?
Yes. I neglected to mention our meeting. There might be vampires about.
When did you,
Okay.
when did you find this out?
Vampires now? Or
Yes.
vampires before?
No, now. Tonight.
I literally right before I came here. Literally right before I came here. Oh, great! I see.
Okay. Let's just all keep our heads. First thing to know is 1, if that is so, which I believe you full-heartedly, they do not know that you know. Okay?
I hope so.
So let's all just keep our cool and carry on business as usual.
There's one.
We cannot have another event like last night happen here tonight.
No, what
Nothing
we can
happens
do is
tonight.
slowly remove the staff with your extra security if they're not undead. I look to
assuming-
Aska.
That's a good point.
I'm assuming they would have been
Yeah.
close enough. We're definitely within 60
Yeah.
feet of his guard.
Yeah.
The guards that carried the flags in
I meant security.
don't trigger.
I meant security.
Oh, general.
The bird. Is
The bird?
the
undead.
bird bitch that started clapping.
The bird did not walk into any
Those
radius.
people that are clearly different.
The
I will
group.
say, divine sense lasts for a turn, like a round. So
Oh.
Yeah,
So
I'll
not
say
very
they're
long.
on the other side of the room anyway, so they're not within range.
Isn't a round only 6 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I have
pretty
an
much
idea.
just a flash.
Anybody
so
that
it's long enough to get a decent idea, but not long enough to just keep a weather eye out. So
if you want to
Yeah.
probably
mean-
make the best of the staff and try to weed them out quickly, silver plates, no gloves.
I'm standing next to you for the rest of the night.
I would say
I like that a lot.
we
Don't
we have
What do you?
sneakery and
He's like, oh,
psychic
I'm best
abilities.
friends.
I'm sorry. What was this about the silver platters?
Silver tends to reflect regalias.
And so they'd be wearing gloves.
Currently, they have platters that they need to be holding about.
Okay.
Switch this.
And he just like takes a glance out, like makes eye contact with someone, and looks around. They're all wearing gloves.
I think that's what he's saying is if we declared that find like the head of staff and announce, by the way, no gloves. If they don't take them off, they would have to be vampires.
That's how you weed
But
them out.
my
Yes, what does that solve other than alert everybody
I
to the fact that we
simply
know?
was translating his idea.
That is
We
good.
have sneakery, I gesture at the two rogues, and we have some psychic abilities amongst us. I think there's the potential that we could
Don't look at me.
Okay, well,
split
this
up
is all
and take
very
people out.
conspicuous. How about we just split up into teams and then...
That's what I was just saying.
Okay.
Listening, but
Keep
still
staying
dancing.
here.
So there's a couple of rogues and a couple of people, like, I can do things to, like, make either them attack each other or, like, just fuck them up mentally.
No, absolutely not.
Are you saying I
Absolute-
need to stealth?
No, absolutely not. We are not engaging on any fronts. That is an order.
No.
And he
Okay.
walks away from the group.
I'm walking
I
toward with
agree
him.
with the count.
Blair is upset.
You're like his new best friend.
Figure something out, let me know,
There are
and I'm
far too
following.
many in this room for us to handle alone.
But we
And
can't just
a much
let this
greater
go on.
responsibility. This is we know that this is related to other information that we have.
Are we
about
still huddled up?
the
Except Kirk
presence of
and Count.
underpower within the Noble Commission. But we can have this conversation with the Count at a later date.
Hold on.
Now that we have secured better access to him.
We're still
Well,
huddled
tonight-
up,
Yes.
right? So I'm just gonna bring to the attention, like, hey, I don't know if this will help the situation, but just in case, I do have some very discreet poison on my person.
They're undead.
If that's helpful.
You hear
I don't know
a
what that means.
clinging of a glass, and the Count is back up on the throne,
For now.
and he's like, "Ladies
I'm
and
accepting
gentlemen,
no questions.
delegates from across Nefasto, the independent counties, and South Lerinor as a whole, I'd like to make a few announcements, if I can. The first, and he like wipes a bead of perspiration off his forehead. The first is, I must congratulate a few people on their heroic deeds of last night. I know word travels fast, and I know a lot of you may know things that I do not. But I want to set all the rumors straight. Last night, we did indeed have a terrorist attack. I know, and there's like murmuring throughout the crowd. I know. But it was foiled by a stupendous group of individuals. And I'd like to introduce them to you tonight as not just my friends, not just as the heroes of Nefasto, but as my new personal guard and protectors of the realm. And he just motions down to the group of you. And you see some people, and they clap.
Deep bows.
Just
Yep, the response proper, just like that section. If that's okay, like
Oh,
when
yeah.
he leaves. Okay, cool.
Well, yeah, you can totally do that, yeah.
Cool.
I was so confused for a second. Oh,
She's not here. I can't run it by the other
yeah,
one.
yeah, no, totally. They definitely would.
I
But
did
he
think.
motions down, and there
Proper
does
responses.
there's a round of applause, and he's like, "Center stage," and he
Walks forward.
tries to have all of.
Are you still by him?
I'm standing next
I'm
to
still
him.
glowing.
So am I. So walk forward. Curtsy, bow, whatever.
Some of them may be familiar to you, some of them may not be. Obviously, Miss Lyra Kybella here, of the Oglyre Ward herself is here. We also have from the Frozen Forest, one of the first on the line of defense of last night, Princess Lunarium. We have an individual known as the Red Hand right here. We have Mr. Gloom. Some of you may know him as the Moon Man, but that is not his name. That is not his name at all. This glowing, lovely lady dancing is
I'm just
Still
like on
dancing.
stage, like yeah.
is the
was a great
heart
time.
of this strike team. Miss Naomi.
You got promoted.
And right here, by my side, is the most noble and ferocious of all the Danglars that I have met.
I'm looking for Damon's reaction.
With your perception,
No, just
you
out
find
of-
him in the room.
Out of
easy.
curiosity, I am too, because I know they were
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah, you guys are easy to see Damon, and he just...
I twitch.
From where I'm standing, can I see either of her parents?
Make a perception check.
No, it's not. It's a 15, just to make it a little higher.
I appreciate you cared so much.
17.
I'm not even looking
I
for my
had
parents.
22 on perception. Can I see them?
No.
Not that I care.
No, you didn't ask.
No offense.
No, I'm not. I have a high
21.
perception, but I'm
21.
not looking.
You
You're
take
like,
a
I
look
don't
around
fuck
and
about my
you,
parents.
like, off to the corner, in a shadow behind a pillar, you see, not dressed in ball gown or anything, like, noticeable, but actually wearing a, like, cloak with the hood kind of up. You do see Ori Kybella, and she slinks away. And he's just,
That's sus
I
as fuck.
I
It's a shadow
cannot
pillar.
thank this group of
Can't.
people more, and the fact that they are by my side gives me even more confidence to tell you the reason we are all here tonight, the real reason for this ball, the real reason we have called these delegates here. I know I hate lying and I hate going through other channels, but this is yes, this is a ball to focus on the threat of the Kazurth Empire, but it is more than that. To combat this threat and other threats to our realm, I would like to put through a vote. Every delegate who was brought here tonight has a vote. I would like to extend my funds, my wealth, and the prosperity of our city to others in this realm, and in fact strengthen our bonds, because the threat in the north is growing ever stronger. I know many of you saw the dragons that they sent here the other day. It was not
Sorry.
peaceably. It was not out of the kindness of their hearts. It was a direct threat on our sovereignty. And so I'd like to put through the vote to turn the independent counties of southern Nefasto into a united front under my wealth. I'd like for you to vote for me to unite the kingdom of the noble south for a safer and secure
Goddamn.
region.
Oh, the exact thing Kirk was afraid of. Cool.
Okay.
Each of you,
Technically, we haven't signed a contract
You've
yet.
positioned yourself as his right hand, so
and he
congrats.
motions forward, and one of the guards that were
Smile away,
carrying the
boys,
flags
smile away.
move forward, and they put like a little podium box up, and they stand on either side of it, and he goes, I will be mingling with you if any of you would like to talk and pick my brain about it. This has been a larger discussion for a long time, and the Rim Confederation had a similar problem on their hands where they had to unite against the tyranny of the Empire, and now the Empire has turned its eyes southward. I believe this is the only way to strengthen it. Now, again, this is a vote. If you are not comfortable and you do not trust me to lead and guide these people, then vote no. But if you think that maybe that this is the right thing to do, then I would like to make it my purpose in life to secure the lives of every free person in the south. We cannot become another colony. Thank you. Have a good night. The results will be announced in the morning. Please do not stress about this. Come vote at the box. The box will be secured and guarded, and the results will be admitted in the morning. Thank you. And you see, the room is split. There are a few people that immediately are like, yes, absolutely, and there's a lot of people that are like, I don't fucking know. But they all kind of go back to their mingling and talking, and he immediately just kind of like sits down on the throne and blank stares for a second.
I'm just gonna back up and stand next to him.
I recognize that we've kind of
Resigned to this.
assigned ourselves to this. So outwardly, the performance of like absolutely, totally okay with this politeness, and then like kind of subtly signaling to everyone else that we should go to Kirk and have a conversation.
I'm staring at you like, get up here.
I am avoiding your eye contact, but encouraging the rest of the group to come join me in a very polite
he
manner.
like leans over to you and just goes, "What did you see?
What did I see?
What did you see?"
My greatest fear realized.
Mrs. Oglyre is skulking around in cloaks.
Division.
And he just like,
Kybella, but yeah.
Kybella.
Oglyre the Lord,
Mrs.
Kybella
Oglyre.
the last name, yeah.
where?
In the corner.
Which shady area of the ballroom?
Which shadowy
She
corner?
went off to the left.
Who's left? Her left or mine?
Your left.
They're both left.
He goes.
Oh no.
He goes.
At what point do I come up?
Probably at this moment.
Is this the thing you didn't want to tell us until you knew we were going to be on your side?
Well, it was privy information, yes.
What?
Stalls.
If you had said no, then you wouldn't have been a part of
What
it.
privy information, might I ask?
I was going to tell you all about this. Oh, also, your mother is skulking around and I don't trust it and I want eyes on her.
Yes, given that she declared me dead when we had communications, sorry I did not inform you of this, I would also like to have an eye on her.
Is there anything else we need to fucking know?
No, that was all of it. The undead was not part of the fucking plan.
No, they didn't think
She kind of laughs
there's
to
a
put
smile
on
back
an
in-
air of...
You said this wasn't poison, right?
Don't drink that. I don't know. Don't drink it.
Kirk is just living his worst life as a bodyguard.
No, it's not.
I wanted.
Azura is gonna walk up to the ballot to determine if she's the one that votes or if Torm's there and votes.
As you walk up, one of the guards goes, were you invited?
Yes, Princess Azura Lunarian.
Princess, even if you weren't invited, please vote. And he hands you a piece of paper.
What are you voting?
No.
I'll vote.
So,
I'm gonna abstain.
Who all has
Now
votes?
I'm
That's just
voting.
people of power, or everyone in this room?
Basically everyone in this room who's invited, so the waitstaff do not vote.
Oh,
You don't want the undead voting.
I don't think dead people should vote, no.
Man, what a political stance there.
if you're under 18 or dead, you can't vote.
I'm gonna vote.
What do you vote?
I'm gonna vote for him.
Technically, she doesn't have any license declaring her
Fuck
origin.
you! I'm not required to show my license.
Are ghosts allowed to vote?
He looks both at
Not a
at both of you again and goes,
Sorry.
I don't need you to do anything, but if someone would like to go look at the mother, she was supposed to be here. I invited her. Personally, I have not spoke to your father in 3 days.
I have concerns about that.
He's probably not okay.
Is Keshari around?
You do say Shari, she is walking up to the ballot box.
Naomi votes.
I'm gonna try to like get her attention to like kind of. Oh, hello! I have something to say.
Excited
to you.
'cause I've
Absolutely.
never voted before.
She votes and she walks up to you. Yes.
Have you seen my father or spoken to my mother as she was seen skulking around in corners? I'm trying to laugh to make it look light. Skulking around in corners in a cloak and then drifted off.
No, I haven't seen or talked with her in quite a while, actually, since yesterday.
My father?
I saw him last night.
So he's alive, that's good.
He Well, he was at the last I saw him. This is a terrifying conversation that we're just bringing up now.
Did you know about this vote?
Yes.
Well, the main concern is that my mother is skulking about in a cloak and not attending the festivities. Neither is my father. And after my mother lied about my being alive when we had written correspondence to each other that I was in fact alive, I have concerns about her interests, if you will.
Tell her about the undead.
Oh, and by the way, I kind of lightly brush her shoulder in like a playful manner. Most of the waitstaff are actually undead, and we are dealing with that problem as well.
Oh, lovely, lovely. So we should go find your mother and perhaps
would
wrangle
we
her back
perhaps
here.
like to split where somebody tries to find my father? I'm willing to do that, and maybe somebody tries to keep an eye on my mother. Perhaps some of the sneakier members of the party. Although I did assign you tasks, so I texted you. I asked them to make sketches of, not you guys, I asked Maddie, because she's not here, I asked the rogues, because they do sketching, which is funny that they both have common hobbies, to sketch the waitstaff so we have at least some visual of what they might look like, since we're not allowed to do anything.
As I'm
so
dancing,
if you're
I'm just
done
like,
with
yeah,
your
with my
half of
notebook,
the
just like-
assignment, I don't know what the DM ruling is on that, because we got called into an announcement. If you're done with your half, I think you're allowed to go searching. If not, I'd rather have sketches, because we have enough people.
There's definitely a few sketches. The problem is, they're just like they're just like normal people. Like, so like you have like a lot of like face sketches, and you're looking at them and you're just like, these are all butter faces. So like they're good sketches, but like these could be any person off the street.
Can I try and like keep track of Lucius as I'm partying? Because I'm no longer drinking.
I mean,
but I am
as you're
partying.
keeping
Group
he's
vote,
still
what
at
do
the
we
bar.
think's more
Like,
important?
he's still
Finding
there.
my parents, sending sneaky
Okay,
ones,
I'm
or
not
trying
gonna
to
do
get
anything. I'm
ID
just
on
keeping
some of the
eyes
vamps?
on him.
Because I am concerned they could be in disguise.
We could track the vamps.
How?
Oh, there's too many.
At the end of the night.
Too many.
Too many.
There's too many.
We can't
just,
split up like that.
I'm not concerned about the undead tonight.
I know.
Too many of us can't
Be
leave.
concerned about the undead, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Symptom of a larger problem.
I feel like looking after the big people.
Here's the thing, too many of us can't leave. So some of us, I think, the three of
I'm
us,
staying
maybe
with
the
the
four of us,
Yeah,
kind
I
of.
figured.
Actually, Ask is kind of notable. Frankly, I think the sneaky ones are the only ones who can kind of sneak off, because you've been signaled out as Moon Man, you've aligned yourself as kind of the right hand, we're notable, and you're the...
My brother's the only one that's.
Is this a discussion
Well-
she's having?
Mm-hmm.
Can I hear her say the word sneaky and be like, hello?
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
you were in the conversation.
Okay.
That's how we've been referring to you two, because I feel like Rogue is too on the...
So
that
I
feels
didn't-
metagaming.
I didn't know if I was like off drawing someone, if you were talking directly
No,
to
we're
me.
all at the count, I assumed, unless stated
Shari
otherwise.
goes, I am prepared to go with either group, Dad or Mom. I am prepared to lend an assistance.
I would love to, I'm just afraid that I can't... What is your opinion on who should stay?
I think that this is a ball and this is a party grounds. I think you are able to go wherever. I think you are able to go wherever you
Oh,
please.
yeah, we're keeping up the performance for sure.
And I think that she's the one being suspicious, not us.
I'm happy to drift off with you and try to find my father. It wouldn't be remiss that we would be having a chat.
I think that's just.
I feel if you find your mother, you're gonna find your father.
I don't want to be actively looking for my mother. I will not be held responsible for the following actions. We've not had a conversation since she declared me dead.
Then I think
Her facade briefly drops and then like goes back up.
I'm
just to
angry.
to really fine point that. I will not be actively looking for her.
I can do that.
Dad? Yeah.
No, I'm staying with the
Yes.
count.
No, Team Dad.
Team Dad.
If you're leaving, I'd like to go with you.
All right, so
Ask us like, I fucking hate this party.
I think whatever it is, we need to move quickly.
what do you mean you means to locate someone? Performance, not sarcastic.
I can find someone to respond.
Who do we think will be harder to find, my mother or my father?
I think that there's a
Oh, yeah.
chance
Dad.
that your father may be passed out drunk somewhere, and your mother is maybe conspiring.
Can you cast it twice?
Sorry.
Yes, I can.
All right, so how do we want to divide up, I guess?
I would like one other person to at least stay with me.
I'll
if
stay
not,
with you and the Duke.
okay, then the rest of you either need to go and find
Well,
the
with Keshari, there's 8 of us, so
Count.
we could
Count.
split 4 and 4.
What am I doing?
Duke. Dick.
What did you ask of me?
It was originally the sketching, but then we realized they're all kind of like samey faces.
Wow,
and they're
these
probably,
people are all really generic.
They're probably disguises, so
Presents.
I think we're gonna split with Keishari 4 and 4. Because there's 7 of us.
Well, Talad and
What
Kirk
board
are
am I
staying
part
with the
of?
Count.
You don't
Okay.
have to say. You don't.
Well,
have
then
to.
3
I
and
will.
3. Because
Okay,
8
you
minus
guys,
2.
you guys tell me what you're doing.
So,
He's
if,
bodyguarding.
hey, if
I can
2 of
skip.
you stay, we can split 3 and 3, and that way everyone has at least one person.
Okay. that's
Plus,
fine.
you can communicate the widest, so it makes sense that you're in one location. I think I'd feel the most comfortable if you 2 are together.
And if some shit happens with
So,
Butter,
who wants to join? Asuka, Lyra, and Keishari going for Dad. You and the Rogues going for Mom. That probably makes a lot of sense.
That does sound
So
good.
then we're gonna locate person
have-
twice.
Because then in each of the expeditionary groups, we have at least one person in each who has hit points to spare.
I have 103.
I've gotten better.
You have 123,
God,
and I am hard to hit.
So, Azura, you're doing locate creature
Correct.
so you're doing it twice.
Yes. Initially, the
Wait,
All
you're
right.
looking for Mom too?
well, she's just
Okay,
doing
so it is
locate creature
concentration.
to tell us where
So
to go.
if you
Well, if we're assuming
if you
Dad
wanted
is
to
solitary,
do if you're going for Mom, then you should probably, this is meta, but you should probably
I
do
see, I
Dad,
see.
tell them where to go, and then do Mom and track
Right, I
it.
forgot I was on Mom team. Yeah, I'll do Dad first.
Okay, so you do Dad, within 1,000 feet. Okay.
And then no running water, which is
Yeah, that's oddly specific. So you do
You
pick
can't
up.
track over rivers.
So you do pick up a
Fucking
ping
Basset
for the
Hound.
dad. You obviously
They can't go over rivers.
near Sir Kybella. You get a ping that's like up and to the right of the ballroom. He's actually pretty close.
white line.
He's not too far away at all.
And I relay
Um,
that to
and it
in-
doesn't seem to be moving. Like you hold it for a second.
Stationary. Absolutely stationary.
We know the castle.
My dad.
Yeah, you relay that. You pop the spell again on the mom, and the mom is at this point much farther away because she has been walking this entire time. You pick her up at like the edges of your spell. She's like 900 feet, 910,
You guys should go
920.
first,
Um,
so it doesn't look
I have
so-
expertise at investigation, guys.
so you guys are going off that way. So we'll do Team Dad first. You.
but canonically they leave first.
Well, yeah, they're
Okay.
You guys are both going.
Well, I
We're
figured it
following
looks
you guys.
suspicious if the whole group breaks, so I'd like Team Dad to wait a second and
Okay.
chit-chat with the Count
Okay.
and then leave.
I got you.
He's stationary. You're fine.
I know, that's
well,
why
in
I'm
that
like,
case,
He's probably
um,
actually passed out.
you guys said you were moving stealthily, so go ahead and give me a stealth check. Azura, give me a stealth check.
And
As you guys are going.
Delilah, I want to say Madison.
I have Delilah's.
What's that say?
a 9.
9.
That means it's a 10.
We love that.
So that group begins to stealth away.
Stealth.
Team Dad, you know exactly, based on where Azura told you.
Do we want to be stealthy or just casual?
This is your house. As long, and she like loops your arm, and she's like, as long as we don't seem like we're in a hurry, I think things will be fine. But let's move with intention.
Of course, and I beckon for Asuka. Come along, kind of. Just to make it, kind of like a casual stroll. I'm gonna show you the castle. I just start prattling aimlessly of like, you haven't even seen this. We must show her.
You guys.
Well, I think the whole time I'm in we're in this setting, I am like the as quiet as possible, just kind of tiny, but as imposing as possible. The helmet never comes off.
Yeah.
The armor is ragged and worn, and I stalk next to you guys.
I've got to play my
Listening,
role.
but my head's always on a swivel, and that's the idea.
I'm just prattling
Alright.
aimlessly about random portraits. and-
Asuka, give me a perception check as you are walking.
Okay. Really not the greatest. But, 9.
Passive is 27 now, by the way.
I'm actually listening to what she's saying and I get distracted.
Yeah, you do. Luckily Blair's passive, I mean, it's not even a big thing, but as you guys are walking out, you do pass that group with the eagle and the elf and a bunch of other people. actually, the group is the eagle person, an elf, a smaller, like dark gray gnome. You see a minotaur. You see a person almost kind of like Aska, just head to toe in plate armor that's been colored like Noble Commission. You can't make out any details of them at all. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Let's see. Elf, that guy.
Love that guy.
That guy. You see a halfling woman, and you also see a gold dragonborn. As
Wait.
you.
What?
I know.
Yeah, you see a gold dragonborn.
Is it not anyone that we've seen before?
Nope.
Cool, more of them.
And as you are just walking
Great.
by,
We're the last of our kind,
that
but like.
Yeah, we're
that-
super rare, except we keep
Hat-trick.
meeting.
you
Great.
quickly make your way to that room, and you walk up to it. Door's locked.
Shit.
Gestures to Aska. Is this in your wheelhouse?
I will first.
I don't think I can charm the
I will
shit out of the
cast-
door.
I will cast, first, okay, I would like to look for traps. First, I would like to search for traps.
Do it. Oh wait, you have a passive investigation of 20, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you tell that the door is not trapped.
Okay.
Inherently.
I would like to try to pick the lock.
Go for it.
I'm
Intelligence?
actively looking out.
It Dex plus proficiency if you have Thieves' Tools proficiency.
I have expertise in thieves' tools.
Well, there you go.
In one of my tools.
Open the
okay, so
fuck out of that
Dex-
door.
Yeah.
Dex, you say? Dexterity. So 27.
27. Easy peasy,
Yeah.
like 2 seconds. Like it just comes off. The door swings open. The room is pitch black, dark. It looks like the drapes have been closed. There is no fire lit at all. As the door opens, the light from the hallway begins to spill into it, and you see a body face down on the floor.
Anyone have light?
I mean, I've got like
Kaishari
fire
casts
bolts.
light on the ceiling.
Well, has it been an hour?
Oh, yeah, am I still glowing or has it been an hour?
It's been an hour
Cool.
at this point. But Kaishari does light up the room. Actually, she'll do dancing lights instead.
Okay.
She does
Yeah.
dancing lights that orbit around. And you do see the body of Nirasir, like, face down on, like, a bearskin rug.
The body
How long
of?
you
Is he alive?
As you run up to it, go ahead and make a medicine check.
Sounds
I
kinda
got a
corpsey,
23
I'm
for
not gonna lie.
myself, by the way.
Okay, good,
In
good.
the body
I said-
Caleb, can you describe the room?
It is some kind of bed chamber. It's got a 4-post bed. It's not terribly big. It's like 20 by 20 foot. Fireplace built into the wall and a big window with drapes shut.
13.
13, you run up to him, and at this point your heart is pounding. As you grab him and try to like flip him over, your hands have gone numb. You hear your heartbeat inside your own head. You flip him over and you look at him, and as soon as you flip him over, there's a moan. He seems alive, but not responsive.
She sits back and like shakes her hands, like just the like.
teeth marks in his neck. No, it's
Alive.
he. And as you guys run up and look at him, he looks like wasted, but not like drunk. Like something's like wrong with him.
Hold on. Give me, I'm gonna use 5 points of lay on hands to neutralize a poison affecting a creature.
You lay on hands, your hands glow red, almost like they're glowing hot metal, and you feel some kind of like liquid pulse up through his pores and like soak his shirt, and as it does, he just and sees you and just immediately
It's okay. It's okay.
and goes into fight mode for a second, then sees you and is super groggy. He's just like, what happened?
I have eyes on the door now. I'm posted up.
Okay.
Did Mother do this?
I don't. Yes.
I'm gonna
Yes,
turn
she
to
did.
K-Shari. I don't want her near him.
At that moment, we'll switch over as you. What was your stealth check?
14.
14. So not quite as stealthy, but you are tracking. You are moving. Naomi, you and Delilah. 23. Delilah rolled a 26.
No one is shocked.
As you two kind of pull off and flank, you guys are moving through. You have left the ballroom and actually moving towards like a courtyard type area. There are pillars everywhere, and you are tracking. And you take a quick look over both your shoulder. Both your rogues are gone. You don't even see them, but you guys are flanking around stealthily.
These fucking.
As you are following, you're like keeping her right at that 900 mark.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, you're gaining quickly.
Okay.
You get to a point where you can tell that she is standing right like around this precipice of a corner. Rogues kind of move off to the side, and I'd say all of you can see her kind of standing in the middle of a courtyard next to a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And as she's standing there, you guys are still moving up. You see on the ground, there's not like any markings or anything, but a section of the floor, just kind of like cobblestone floor, moves up, and you see a figure crawl out of it. You see a cloak obscuring all details, back kind of facing towards you guys. You can immediately hear her talking. She is frantic. You hear her go, I didn't know he was going to do this. I swear I didn't know. And you hear the figure, shh, shh, shh. It's okay. It's okay. She goes, you do not, well, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
You hear her go, I didn't know he was going to make this kind of an announcement. And after last night, the plan, well, it was going so well. I don't know what happened. She's like, Othgar is going to be so mad at us. He's going to be so mad at me. And he goes, shh, you let me worry about Othgar, okay? And you notice this voice. This voice you heard talking to Aerolith in the Lorethian ward. You know this voice to be Garnet Faltho. You hear him talking. You go, you don't have to worry about a thing. And she goes, but my daughter. And she's like, shh. Lyra returning does not put a damper on our plans. What is already in motion cannot be stopped. You have nothing to worry about. If she does become a problem, then I'll order the boy to be executed. No more loose ends. Does that make you feel a bit better? And she's, I don't know how long I can do this. And he goes, shh, it won't be much longer. Okay? And he like has his hands on her shoulders, just kind of like rubbing her shoulders. His hood comes down and you see the like Vanta Black elf with white hair, and he's just like, everything's going to be fine, just give it time, all right? And he like picks up her chin, and she's like, okay, if you say so. And they kiss.
She's married.
There's murder in the air. Don't
While
you
this
feel
happens, I'm gonna look at the
I mean,
rogues.
I'll
Hold on. What?
kill her.
What'd you say?
While this happens, I'm gonna look at the rogues for like confirmation on like,
Can you
whether-
find us?
whether we should engage or not. Well, because I imagine we're like
Make a perception check.
We've done this
You
before.
may
We
not
fucked
see
this
them.
up.
Can you beat a 23?
okay, that's not bad.
Can you say his name again? He's a Garnet.
What you got?
23.
Hey, you can see me.
Hold on. Garnet Faltho. What did
We
you roll?
established the name earlier.
23. So you do not see Delilah, but you do make eye contact with Naomi.
That's not helpful. I'm confused as shit, and I'm ready to kill anybody.
and you-
Delilah's confirmation if I should engage or not.
You and as you're like looking for confirmation and look back, he goes, just act like everything is normal. Have it
Like,
play
holding
out.
My bow, like,
All right, I'm going to return home. I will let Othgar know. He will deal with me. All right. And she goes, but what about Aerolith? That fucking idiot doesn't have an idea of what's going on underneath his own nose. All right, trust me. All right. And he gives her another kiss and drops back down into the hole. She helps move the cobblestone over top. She lets out a breath and then begins to
Like, "Hey,
head
buddy."
back towards one of the buildings.
It's giving Snake from the Jungle Book.
no, I'm gonna be like, hey, buddy.
What are you doing,
what's up?"
Rogues? And Zara.
I'm just kind of looking at her confused. Like, I'm holding my bow, but I feel like I have no,
All right, you
I
guys
have no
are
idea what happened.
you guys are standing there.
Going to
Observing, taking notes.
continue pursuit. Maybe see if we can capture her for more information.
Well, it seems like she's heading
be-
back. We don't really need to capture her.
We're
she's
not
headed
here.
back.
We
Taking
get
she
notes.
headed
though.
back towards
Okay.
the building.
Then-
Taking notes, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll
As I do.
Scribe.
get back and follow.
All right. As you guys are doing that, you guys are having your moment. You two back at the Count. He is like trying to keep his face together. You guys are looking out, and you see a familiar figure approach the box, the ballot box, just making scolding eye contact with you the whole time.
I'm so glad that worked
Fills
out
out a
for you.
piece of paper, drops
I
it
just
in.
look away.
Fuck no.
You hear footsteps approaching, coming up the stairs in front of the Count, and you see Damon approaching the Count and all of you.
I'll
You
talk
don't
to
have
your
a
brain
right,
hole.
Shelby.
Remove the steps and get them out of your way.
He comes up to the Count and goes, "Congratulations on the new enforcement. It's quite a group. I'm sure they're perfect." And he goes, "Thank you, Mr. Damon, was it? Sorry about that Denglar's comment. I hope I didn't offend you. I honestly forgot you were here." And he just,
Kirk doesn't react at all.
Stoic.
"Have a lovely night." And he gives a deep, deep bow and turns and goes, "I almost forgot." And he reaches in his back pocket and pulls out a piece of
Shoots
electrum. But it's not sharded and broken like all of yours in the box. It's like perfectly like coin-like. And he looks at it, gives it a flip.
Telekinesis. Mid-air, I'm gonna grab it.
Like, make it drop, make it come
No,
towards
he
you.
just
No,
makes-
he's
he
just
stops
stop
at
it.
mid-air.
Oh.
He just looks back at the Count and goes, "Well, that's for you. Call me if you want to do business."
He's gonna put it in the Count's hands.
Count
Make
grabs
sure
it.
he knows it's you.
Yeah, are you gonna
He's
like
gonna
wink?
give you like a telepathetic.
You're gonna
and-
gesture like it was you.
Yeah, Damon walks away and he like
Telepathetic.
puts it in your hand immediately and he goes, "That guy gives me the creeps."
Really?
Team Dad.
I don't want her anywhere near him.
She won't
I don't
be
know what
anywhere
the
near
next.
him.
I don't know what the plan is. Obviously, we can't just hide him.
Bring him
but
to our room.
I am perfectly capable of hiding him and getting him somewhere else in this castle.
I have such a
bad
headache.
I don't. At this point, I don't want anything to do with her.
He can. We'll take him to the tower. He can take him to
Do
my
you-
room.
do you-
My room is more secure than
Do
all
you
the
want
others.
me to disguise him? I can do that while we transport him. That
Absolutely,
might
that will
be the
probably be the best.
safest.
This is unheard of. Are you okay? I really probably just some water. I feel fine thanks to I didn't catch her name. She helped a lot.
This is Aska, a friend of mine.
Aska, thank you so much. You will be rewarded. Now, please, And he like stops for a second and just like cups your face, and he's just like,
I'm sorry that she lied to you.
I
I wrote to her. I told her.
no words. We can talk later. Let's get to a different place than this.
So I'm gonna seeming him to look. I assume this will be a discussion between like me, him, and Kay Shari of what would be the easiest, but something unassuming, whether it be like some drunk or a guard or something. And I'm gonna disguise myself with the ring as a guard.
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna
guards.
escort him basically to the room.
Escort K Shari.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great idea actually. We're gonna be both guards, but different because I use 2 different spells, and head to Kay Shari's room.
You start escorting Kay Shari. Asuka, she
I
looks at you,
communicate to
and
you,
she
Dad's safe, going to Kay Shari's room.
she like stops at the door and looks at you and goes, if you would like to come along and act as security, I understand that, but honestly, I want you with Preston. I want your strength there.
I'm already walking. I'm not walking. I am flying down the hallway.
Oh, excellent.
She's up
like,
to you if you want to follow or go back to them. I leave it to you.
I'm flying down the hallway to the count.
I'm gonna receive and try to
she's
relay
gone.
that.
And I would have told Asuka that I communicated to Lod.
To party 2, I guess, I'm going to provide the notification that, Team Dad has accomplished their mission. They've saved Dad.
All right. Team Mom gets that as well as you guys are headed back to the ballroom.
Are you doing that message thing where we can respond?
I'm doing it through telepathy,
Damn.
unless I cannot reach you, in which case I will use sending.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to reach them.
Is it Lucius?
The dad's name is Nyrasyr.
Nyrasyr, okay.
Nyrasyr.
Nice.
Wow, I did that wrong.
Yeah, it happens. That's where your
I
Y
think
comes from.
Near seer is probably how it is in my notes.
Nyrasyr.
I have a couple questions.
Mm.
I have a couple questions in this in like Sherlock level of like Mind Palace time stop. Like, how much does this weigh in my hand compared to my Electrum?
It's probably a 2-ounce coin. And as you're looking at it, it does have engravings.
Okay.
It has stuff on it.
Do I recognize it?
Yeah, it is a Circe's currency. This is straight up money, like money from back home, not raw money.
Do I
money.
notice any kind of magical like markings on it? Is it rigged to blow?
There's no magical markings
of
on it
trust.
saying like, "Hey, this is a bomb." Nothing that just catches your eye, your naked eye.
This is 2 ounces
Mm-hmm.
in a coin.
Yeah,
Hefty.
it's dense. It's like it feels compressed.
Yeah.
Like it's not see-through like the
dense.
rest is. It's like frosty.
I'm just worried there's a fucking glyph of warding on it, and I'm like, some bullshit I would do.
That is.
I'm gonna look over at you and say I'll be back, and I'm going to go back around behind the throne, and I'm going to dimension door to a balcony.
No, go far.
Okay. Okay.
How long does it take to arrive back in the room?
I was about to say, as soon as you like fuck off and dimension door, Asuka and Team Mom enter the room again. And you guys all make eye like Scooby-Doo eye contact with each other.
Like, man, holy shit!
So my question was, however he communicated with us, could I respond, or was it just him saying things?
Telepathy, yeah, you can.
Telepathy is like an open channel.
So
if you're
he
within.
had to use sending on at least one of
Team
you,
Mom.
so you could.
So
have
my
respond.
immediate response would be, I think that her mom's a whore.
So you get that back.
That's all you get.
Oh, that's alarming. Thanks.
Asuka, you enter the
That's
room.
your update.
What are you doing?
Naomi thinks out loud.
I will stop flying. Yeah, I'll stop flying as I get to the doorway, like the end of the hallway, entering the ballroom. But I will beeline it towards the count, and just take up a position in front, and I will relay through to Lod everything that we encountered.
All right. Azura, as you enter the room, what are you doing?
I would imagine immediately going to Blair and just telling her about her mom.
Well,
Blair is
I'm not in there.
So you don't
I
see
did
Blair.
tell Tulad though, so if you walk up and say, "Where is
Well, I
Lyra?"
don't primarily need to tell you, but then I guess just sitting there and like processing what she saw.
Okay.
And
with just everyone kind of going back around the count. You dimension door to a balcony. What are you doing?
Within 500 feet, the farthest away I can, probably that balcony where I was holding up, what's her name, from that fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be standing up on top of the tower holding the coin.
A voice pops into your head, and you hear Damon go, "Where'd you go? Leaving the party so soon?" Make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I knew it. It's the shit I would do.
God, I love the idea of just doing that to your enemy at the end of the night.
Okay, I have to do the dex save, but I'd like to counter spell if I can, but probably not. That's a natural 20.
Wow!
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
That's a natural 20.
Very nice.
For a total dexterity saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn it, I'm not proficient. though, like the two things I'm not proficient in, charisma and dexterity.
I believe in you.
For a total of 24.
For a total of 24. As you're holding the thing and Damon's voice pops into your head, the coin explodes. You are wreathed in fire in a 20-foot radius around you. It blows open the door to the balcony that's behind you. You take 17 points of damage.
Oh.
Worse.
And you're falling off.
Yeah.
Depending on where it's blowing. I'm holding it, looking at the balcony, depending on where it goes.
It goes off in your hand, so it blows you back through the door. Not like a
Some bad
terribly powerful explosion,
Probably
but definitely
not
a
unconscious.
noise. And as you come back through the door with wreathed in fire,
Dragonborns, am I right?
you kind of right yourself
Fireproof.
and look around,
He's actually
and you just see
right?
like a few guards like
Lightning.
standing there like looking at you, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And they immediately like pull their swords and like
Bad
look
cigar.
around.
Give him a name. Just give him a name.
Is he gonna make that roll?
Secret
But do we
room.
hear this?
I don't.
imagine-
I would say you guys are huddled up and you hear a
Yeah, we were hearing
just
that.
kind of off to the left. It's not huge,
Wait,
Yeah.
the mom
but like
groups here.
you can
hears
definitely
that too?
hear something. Not the mom group.
Yeah.
Mom group.
So
you. Well, let's see. So it's Kaishari, Nearseer, and Lyra. What did you say, Asuka?
As soon as already I'm on edge. As soon as we hear the faint noise of an explosion, I imagine that the Count's guards, that other party that you described earlier, I imagine that they hear that and perk up. But as soon as that happens, Asuka will if they don't look over and make eye contact, I will go to them and be like, you guys need to form up. Things are happening.
You walk up to the eagle and say that, and he's just like, "We do not answer to you." And they kind of take a look to where the noise came from, and you do see a few probably 3 or 4 just regular noble commission guard. It's not terribly loud, so they're just kind of what was that? And they investigate because it's also
It's a tiny explosive.
it's tiny, and the noise of the room. You guys are on edge, so you guys are looking out for it, but no one else is really taking it seriously. But you do see some other guards respond, and the eagle dude looks at you again, and he's just like, "Congratulations on the promotion. It's quite a big deal. Let us buy you a drink."
You serve Lucius, no, not Lucius, Linus Haradan, do you not?
Yes, he is in
And you
command.
serve the Count.
I suppose. Yes.
So follow your fucking chain of command.
Again, the chain of command does not include you. So if he gives us a command, I will follow that to a T. And as you say that, the plate individual that's decked out in all armor takes a step forward and steps up to you, and as he does, you hear a like mechanical sounds as he walks up to you.
I'm impressed.
And he like the eagle looks you up and down, and he's just like, I appreciate your gusto, but again, know your place. And I think your place is by his side. So again, do you want to drink or do you want to leave?
He called you a lapdog.
Damn, bitch, get fucked.
We are.
I mean,
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm an enigma.
you're a mysterious lapdog, but we're all
You're mysterious.
at his heels.
Do you have a line?
I'm at the heels of anyone who gives me money.
All right. As
Okay. I will float off the ground by a couple feet. And just I will shake my head a little, say, I expected better from you. Perhaps some other time.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Fly back to the count.
and as you say that, he just kind of like gives a half bow, and the look on his face is like actual enjoyment, like he's enjoying the banter as you fly away. As Lyra, as you and Nirsi are disguised as guards, ushering Keshari, a few people like say, oh, Keshari, just having to freshen up. There was someone tried to jump the fence, and they lead away. You guys quickly make your way up the tower.
I'm getting real good at acting like a guard, I feel like. I do this a lot.
You've practiced quite a bit.
She runs up and they go to your tower door, and she's like, are we staying here? Like, we're staying with him, right?
I will do whatever you think is best. I don't want it to seem like he's disappeared because I don't trust the narrative that she will spin.
Pretend to be him.
That is true. Let's.
And there's a discussion that we will have that I sent a message for you.
Okay.
Because it's a long discussion that I don't think we need to have on camera.
Okay.
But that's something that me and Keshari will have discussed.
Okay. We'll say on the walk up there.
Yeah,
they
in
definitely
moments of quiet
do.
in hallways. So that's a potential plan idea for him to still be allowed to leave.
Okay.
They're basically discussions of how tactfully are we going to move forward. I think tonight we should probably just stay with him, make sure he's okay, get him caught up on some of the, hey, there's a cult running around, your wife tried to poison you, undead at the ball. Like, there's some shit going on that he just needs to be aware of.
I agree, absolutely. She unlocks the door and pushes you in. You guys all enter the room. As you enter the room, the like hair on the back of your neck stands up.
Yeah, I haven't dropped the disguises yet.
And there's a chair in the middle of the room, and it just swivels around, and there's an individual sitting there, and you see an individual you saw once before when his disguise dropped. You see him holding kind of like in his lap a shield emblazoned with the markings of Celestion. You see Vern sitting there, and he just goes, thanks for the invitation in, by the way. And that's where we'll end the session.
Fucking damn it!
What a bitch. There goes my phone.
And the outrage!
Vern.
I don't even.
We should make his name Fern because he's a pussy.
That's the session.
Bye bye.